Let's roll. The pimps, the players, the hustlers, the people that bust them, and everybody else in between. From Costa Rica to California, Montreal to Minnesota, the Monday night meltdown, the late night anger management class has begun, as has the second half at Lambeau, as the Detroit Lions move the football down the field to start the second half of play. We'll keep our eye on this football game throughout the evening. We've got an interesting NBA game coming up in about 28 minutes time, give or take, with the Golden State Warriors and the Miami Heat. The Heat have been true road warriors. Pardon the pun. Come out to play. Awesome movie. If you've never seen the movie The Warriors, do yourself a favor. My apologies to Shy Picks. Last time I recommended a movie on this show, it was Bad Lieutenant, and not the remake with Nicolas Cage. I suggested we were talking about gambling movies, and I said, hey, how about that Bad Lieutenant movie with Harvey Keitel? That's a great gambling movie. Yeah, there's gambling in it, but it's kind of a fucked up, crooked New York cop movie as well. Great picture. I think that's what they call film noir. And the man that's going to join us this evening, he's an intellectual. I would assume that he's seen this movie before, and I know he's seen the movie The Warriors, or at least if he hasn't, come on, man. All right, we got a 44-yard field goal attempt. Yeah, why not? The long field goal prop is 44.5. Yeah, great. And I want to thanks to Sean McDonough. Good job, dickhead. Listen, I normally don't blame announcers when there's a no-hitter or a goalie has a shutout or something like that in hockey. But, when there's a 55-yard field goal and you got the long field goal prop, it would help if the announcer doesn't say, oh, this is automatic. Put it on the board. He never misses from this distance. And then, of course, he fucking missed. And then we lose by, we missed this by half a yard. But we are on the Detroit Lions. We are on the Detroit Lions teaser to the under 50.5. Let's bring in one of my favorite guests, one of my favorite times of the week, Monday nights. He helps soften the blow. Boomtown Rats. Tell me why I don't like Mondays. When I was a kid, man, I really I liked that song a lot, and I hated going to school on Mondays as well. We dropped a lot of musical references. I'm sure Dave has enjoyed the intro of the show, and I'll find out if Dave enjoyed me making it rain today at the Fantasy Sports Television Network. I was dropping $100 bills on the floor. Why not? I'm giving money away every Sunday, so it continued into Monday's program. Let's rock. Dave Malinsky joins us straight from the Strip in Las Vegas, Nevada. Dave, it's always a pleasure. How you doing?
Gabe, even though I'm not on camera, I have to say I feel a little underdressed tonight. I like that shirt. What is that?
Like this. This is Michigan hockey.
Michigan hockey, okay.
Yeah, I got a Michigan football jersey, but I'm like a kid. I couldn't take it off. I wore it on the college football show that we did on Saturday morning. I wore it once the other night in a hotel room for like an hour. And I was like, man, I got nothing else. But I figured I'd mix it up and support Michigan. And crazier things have happened, Dave, with the college football world going on right now. We're right back in it. We just got to win out. We need a lot of things to happen. But all kidding aside, yeah, we're rocking the Michigan hockey. It's hockey season now, Dave. It's getting cold on the East Coast.
Well, what's big about Michigan football, though, is you don't even think about the national championship. You don't think about the playoffs. You beat Ohio State, and look at what you have done to Ohio State's season. And how good would that be? So this is some of the things we ask people in these big rivalries. If you were Michigan, would you rather beat Ohio State, go to a non-playoff bowl game, or would you rather be in the playoffs? You want to beat Ohio State. This is your year to send Ohio State out at 9-3. That would feel awfully, awfully good. And yeah, you could ruin it for Wisconsin the following week anyway. So no, Michigan has a tough ride to get where they wanted to go, but they can still be a player in other ways.
I think it's going to be very interesting over the next couple of weeks in the college football world. We've got some big football games and some playoff eliminators this week. And, of course, we're going to be laying it down on these games. So we encourage you guys right now, please support the program by giving us a thumbs up. Or if you hate me and you hate us, give us a thumbs down. But either way, apathy is not what we're looking for here. Listen, not everybody loves Sean Hannity, but the motherfucker's got good ratings. So either way, give us a thumbs up or down. Like I said, don't do it for me. Do it for Zach Jones. Do it for Cynthia Peters. Great girl, Cynthia Peters. Do it for them. And make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Go over to Twitter, SBR. You get free picks over at SBR Picks, sportsbookreview.com. Find the right sportsbook that is for you. So the second half is off and running right now, 17-3, David. Yeah, I really wasn't expecting fireworks or entertainment, to be honest with you. I've been getting mad and I've been ripping the NFL a lot this year for its inferior product. But at this point, I'm just going to accept it, understand it, stop betting on so many games and sort of pick my spots and just, hey, the NFL's been around a long time. 2017 won't be remembered as one of their better years. It just is what it is, Dave. But with that being stated, the playoff picture will be interesting, and we could have a lot of fresh blood come playoff time.
Yeah, let's talk one thing, and we'll get to the NFL in a moment, but since we've got an NBA game left on the board tonight, and there is a little bit that's come out of pocket for it, I had an idea with Golden State at the start of the season, and that you could pick the nights they don't care, play against, pick the nights they do care, play. Now, that sounds like the most obvious notion in the world, but look at the way that it's played out. So if you look at the games where the Warriors have laid double figures, 1-3 against the spread. In fact, if you even take it down to 9 points or higher, 2-5 against the spread, when they wanted to play against the Spurs on the road, against the Clippers on the road, when they wanted to step up, they did. Here's one of these classic settings where I think they'd be thrilled to win by 10 tonight. It's the first game home after a 3-game road trip. And we talk a lot about what happens to NBA players. When you've been on the road for a week and you get home, you got a lot of little things to take care of that are more important than the game that you're playing. And what do they have coming up on Wednesday? Karl Anthony Towns, Wiggins, Jimmy Butler. There's some ego stuff out there Wednesday night. So I think this is not a bad night to stick a little bit of Miami in pocket. No, Heat aren't going to win the game. It's not going to be a competitive game. But if you look up at the end and they lose by 12 or 13, you cash that ticket.
The Miami Heat stumbled out of the gate this year, Dave, but they're starting to get healthier right now. Obviously Whiteside makes a huge difference for them, and Golden State's really not going to have an answer for Whiteside in the interior. The point spread just feels a little bit high, for a basketball team with as much talent as the Miami Heat have. And as you stated, Golden State picked their spots. They haven't been when they lay double-digit points like this, you have to hope that they're very, very interested, Dave, and they normally aren't in spots like this.
Yeah, unfortunately, the advice we're giving people is dissipating as we speak. The board is lit up. Gabe, where you could have taken 16 and a half this morning, the 15s are now disappearing.
Wow.
14 Pinnacle down to 14 and a half minus 02, Chris 14 and a half minus 05. Literally as we speak, more Miami money coming in. That's not just a way of talking about an edge in the NBA game. It's a way of avoiding the NFL for just a few minutes, because here's what's going to start to happen. And we're going to write about this in the Tuesday Point Blank column. The remainder of this season is going to resemble college football more than any NFL year I've ever tracked, because look at how many teams, we're only at the midway point, but look at how many teams have already checked out of the 2016 season. 49ers, of course, never really checked in. The Browns never really checked in. But teams we thought were going to hang around, Tampa says they're shutting Jameis Winston down this week. You know what? They're supposed to shut Jameis Winston down the rest of the season. Tampa has checked out. The New York Giants, playoff team last year, playoff contender this year, they have checked out. I think the Denver Broncos, one of the best defenses in the NFL, may have mentally checked out. And Gabe, you're watching Brett Hundley tonight. If you're the Packers, and you've seen Hundley play the last two games, how do you mentally get up tomorrow and believe you still have a season that's worth playing?
No, you're right, Dave. I brought this up earlier today. We were talking about the Houston Texans, actually. And you look at the Texans situation. They're going into Los Angeles to play the Rams, 11-point underdogs. Most likely they're not winning that football game. And then where do they go from there? With an owner that called them inmates, Dwayne Brown's gone, Deshaun Watson's hurt. The murmurs about Bill O'Brien's future are clearly being heard in the room. you can go down the list, Dave. And, Kyle Turley, we got to get Kyle Turley on this show, actually. Kyle used to join me on a weekly basis for many years. But he's a busy dude now. He's laying a little bit lower. He does interviews every once in a while. But we're going to get Kyle back in the rotation. But Kyle told me a funny story about when he played for the Saints with Mike Ditka. And you remember they were like 0-12 and stuff. And he said that basically in the NFL, there's a saying with players, Dave, when the season's done, for who and for what. And I brought this up earlier in the day today, and clearly the Giants were in that mode. Guys don't want to tackle. No one wants to get hurt. They know a coach is going to get fired, or they know they're going to get released at the end of the year. NFL players are already very, very individualistic as it is. Once shit starts going bad, Dave, you're right. They tap out. Yet it's amazing that we're not even a week past Halloween yet, and we're already at this point where there's more. We nearly have 10 teams that are ready to wave a flag on the season, Dave.
Yeah, I said I have not seen this before in my betting lifetime. I was going back through some past seasons just to try to figure out when did we have so many teams getting out of play early. Here's why it becomes a big factor. This is also a very unusual NFL season in the schedule. One of the big distractions down the stretch, and it leads to a lot of erratic play, makes it even easier for the players to not focus. Look at the last 2 weeks. When Christmas falls on a Sunday, guess what? Christmas is on a Sunday. New Year's Day is on a Sunday. So the final 2 weeks, you're going to have a lot of teams that we think have already checked out with games that make it even easier to check out. Now, we're used to this in college football. We read about this a lot in Point Blank. And if you guys are not familiar with Point Blank, it's a column I write every day at sbrpicks.com. It's a big thing in college football. You get the middle of the season, and a lot of the kids want to mentally check out. You can't go to a bowl anymore, so you just don't have the spirit to fight on. And let's talk about Ohio State. And people wondered why they got run out so bad at Iowa. Why was that fourth quarter so one-sided? Well, look at the history of the fifth-year seniors for Ohio State. They've had one game in their entire career where the playoffs weren't on the line. That was the final game against Michigan 2 years ago. A game they were going to play hard against Michigan anyway. Once they fell behind against Iowa, this is like a boxer who'd never been knocked down before. They didn't know how to get back up because all of a sudden, okay, we can't win this game. Well, hell, if we can't win this game, what are we fighting for? Because we're not going to the playoffs. We're going to see a lot of guys in the NFL facing this. So as we get down the stretch, the handicapping is going to get real interesting. It's the guys who are alert and quick on their feet, and they can spot motivation, they can spot personnel changes. They're going to be way ahead of the stat crunchers because the stat crunchers are just going to have databases filled with gibberish when we get to the last couple weeks of the season.
Dave, we'll sort of zigzag back and forth here. Back to basketball right now for this game that people are going to be betting on tonight. So we talked about the Miami Heat. Looks like the Heat are the play. Money coming in on Heat right now. As far as the total is concerned, a couple of years ago, Golden State, obviously without offense, they were a big overplay. Last year, Dave, they were one of the best under bets in the National Basketball Association because they always have these monster totals. And the Warriors, of course, actually play a little defense, even though they score a lot of points. This year, Dave, 7-3 to the over, averaging like 119 points a game. Early in the season, hard for coaches to really push their players hard on the defensive side of the court. Saying it's funny, we look at this total, Dave. I mean, I saw it as high as 227, down to 223.5 right now. So it looks like people just keep chipping away at the under of this basketball game. But this is starting to look like a fair number to pull the trigger on the over to me.
Yeah, the number that would be a little bit alarming to Golden State people, they're number 20 in the NBA in defense. Now, when we talk about defense on this show, and when we write about it at Point Blank, it's always PP, points per 100 possessions. Well, they were number 2 last year. So from number 2 down to number 20, I believe in their case, that's just a lack of effort and not really zeroing. The team we've written about in Point Blank that I think is in real trouble is Cleveland. Cleveland is not only dead last in the NBA in defense, they're giving up a 1.6 points per 100, more than anybody else. They are last by a wide margin. I think Cleveland has issues that might not be fixed. At this point, you could make a case that the backcourt is the worst defensive backcourt in the NBA because you got a couple of old guys, Rose and J.R. Smith. Well, guess what? Isaiah Thomas isn't there yet. The guy who's graded out as dead last, the worst defensive point guard in the NBA over the past 2 seasons, using real plus minus, he's not even there yet. So Cleveland does have some issues. I think Golden State is correctable. They just don't have a reason to correct it. As long as they're winning, that defense isn't likely to show until next May.
Dave Malinsky with us in Las Vegas, Nevada. You can read his daily column, of course, on the front page of sportsbookreview.com. So we got the Miami Heat and the Golden State Warriors going off the board. For the record, I'm on the Miami Heat plus the points. I gave it earlier in the day on the Fantasy Sports Television Network, and I'm also on the over of this basketball game. Yet, unfortunately, I'm on the over of the Brooklyn-Phoenix game. Weird game. I guess you get bad teams. I pretty much go to the well, not on a nightly basis, but if I can justify it with the over in these Nets games, Dave. And, these two teams played last week. I cashed the ticket. The total was 230. They closed, they got to 236 in the game, 114, 122, 114 final score. Tonight it was 234.5. The odds makers adjusted, but extremely low scoring. First half here, 47-41 at the break for the Brooklyn Nets over the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, you just got to hope that the game is close late and you can turn it into a scramble. That's what, especially with these bad teams. So you might get a scramble up late, but that's about the only hope at this point. Sitting on 88 at halftime, we are seeing second half total. It's a little 119.5 out there. Most shops sitting 120. Phoenix, the 2-point favorite in the second half, essentially making the Suns +4 for the full game.
I like Phoenix tonight. Brooklyn on a long road trip. And Phoenix, maybe I'm a little biased. Here's Hundley going deep. Good coverage by Slay. Maybe I'm a little bit biased because I know Coach Jay Triano. But Phoenix have played good basketball, better basketball under Triano. Day 4-2 since he took over.
It's one of the things I think we're going to like with Phoenix over the course of this year. Triano's going to coach the whole season out because he is auditioning. And that's something we'll talk about a little bit in the NFL coming up. It's an issue in college football. We've written about that a few times at Point Blank. In the NFL, I thought one of the most natural things to take place was for the Jets to fire McAdoo because Spagnuolo has experience as a head coach. The defense played awfully well last year. He could have stepped right in, but gave off the way the defense played against the Rams. Do we know if these guys are playing for Spags either?
Yeah.
Obviously, I could see that maybe they've quit on McAdoo, but if they've also quit on Spags, because ideally what you want to do if you're the Giants, if you knew they would play hard for Spagnuolo, you could let McAdoo go now and be guaranteed the team would at least compete the rest of the way. But usually you don't make the move unless you're guaranteed the guys are going to compete. They did not compete for Spags. That might be a bad sign all the way around.
What do you make of Eli Manning's future there, Dave? If you're running the Giants, is Eli Manning your quarterback next year, or are you moving on and starting over?
Well, you had to figure that 2018 was probably about the last major year you were going to get from him anyway. We talked about Eli on this show, I think, earlier in the season, and the difference between him and his brother and a Drew Brees and a Tom Brady, those other guys studied and worked hard. So as they got later in their careers, the physical skills declined, but they could make up for it because they could outthink the defense.
Like Greg Maddux is a pitcher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of
great example.
Like a pitcher that can pitch, not just relying on his heat.
Look at what CeCe Sabathia did this year. Yeah, a guy who didn't have much left, he outthought the game. Well, guess what? Eli didn't study when he was younger. He didn't stay up late. That wasn't his personal discipline. So now that the physical skills have eroded a little bit.
Oh, he stayed up late, Dave, but he was having a few drinks.
That's it. So he doesn't have a fallback. He's not going to get better. I don't think there's going to be much of a market for him. So if you were the Giants, you had to believe that 2018 was his last year anyway. But what do you have lying in wait? You have Geno Smith. So we're not talking about just McAdoo being gone. We're talking about maybe Jerry Reese also being gone in New York.
Yeah.
Because outside of having some talent at the receiver spots, if you're healthy, you're not positioned to be a good offense for several years. You got to rebuild the offensive line. rebuild the running core, and, oh, by the way, you got to get a quarterback. So the Giants could be a long way away from solving their offensive issues.
Jerry Reese, his refusal to draft a big-time running back and get Eli Manning some help on the offensive line and just signing wide receivers and tight ends, drafting wide receivers and tight ends continuously, probably should cost him his job. I was just thinking something crazy, though, Dave. Imagine Eli Manning falls in the steps of Peyton, becomes the Denver Broncos quarterback, because they're going to have to do something as well. I don't know if Kirk Cousins is the answer. I don't know if Vance Joseph is the answer as coach there, Dave, either long term. But, Elway's not going to let him go after 1 year because it'll just, shine poorly, reflect poorly on John Elway. But Elway's 0 for 3 right now with his quarterbacks, Dave. And let's not forget, he tried to play Brock Osweiler money, right? I mean, the Texans paid $17 million for him, or 37, 38 for the 2 years. Elway offered $15, $16 million a year too. So Elway willingly tried to pay Brock Osweiler. Elway drafted Paxton Lynch. Elway's been insistent that Trevor Siemian can be his guy. And now he goes back to Brock Osweiler. Elway pushed all the right buttons, Dave. He was like a gambler at the table that could do no wrong. But he's on tilt right now, and everything that he touches is wrong. The Broncos have to make a quarterback decision for next year as well, which might play into the hands of a guy like Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, let's talk about a team being on tilt. And one of the things that people that read Point Blank will notice a lot is it's not stats and trends all the time. There's a lot of quotes in there because we follow this stuff very, very. NFL seasons are these Shakespearean dramas that unfold. Denver's got one of the best defenses in the NFL because they've got Hall of Famers. They've got guys who aren't just physically gifted, but they know the sport. And one of the things we wrote a couple weeks ago is quotes about the players so you can sense there's a little bit of a rift between the defense and the offense. It happens when you're playing well and the other side lets you down. Well, here's what smart defenders know. They line up in practice every day against Trevor Siemian and Brock Osweiler. So at a certain point, come Wednesday of the practice week, you're not staying after for extra film work. You're not hitting the weight room because you already know you're not going to be able to win the games. These last 2 road games at Kansas City and at Philadelphia, one of maybe the toughest back-to-back road cycle any team is going to have. How many Denver defenders honestly thought on game day there was any chance to win because they know Brock Osweiler better than anybody. So they already know before the game starts, we're going into this game with a quarterback we can't win with, the Houston Texans. Now, every week, the rest of the year, and the defense is already depleted anyway. They're already down 3 really good players.
And if you're Demaryius Thomas, Dave, too. Sorry, Dave, but if you're Demaryius Thomas, I remember I had Demaryius Thomas on my radio show years ago when Peyton Manning got there. And he was so happy after the, Kyle Orton and Tim Tebow. And he basically stated, it's nice to, it's going to be nice to have a quarterback. And, Peyton Manning was good for a year, basically. And, they won the Super Bowl. But Demaryius Thomas is a good wide receiver, Dave, that's dealt with a lot of crap at the quarterback position over the years, man. And we were talking about it, same with DeAndre Hopkins. If you're Demaryius Thomas, you know that the DBs are talking to him. I mean, he's talking to them. And, how hard can he eventually go after a while, thinking, for the love of God, this is just a lost cause, As your point, you were stating off the top. And DeAndre Hopkins is going to play into the same thing.
So this is so important in your handicapping. We know you've all got your trends books there. You've got your stats. You've got all these angles. But put yourself into the mind of these teams. If you're a Green Bay defender and you see Brett Hundley in practice every day, do you wake up with a jolt of energy on Sunday believing that you can win the game? Now, we're going up and down the league with this. How do you play defense if you're a 49er? Because you know that your coach doesn't even care if you win the games or not. A lot of people thought Jimmy Garoppolo was going to step in and play. Now, we might not see Jimmy Garoppolo for weeks. C.J. Beathard got hit 16 times against the Cardinals. You're not going to let Jimmy Garoppolo go out there and get hit that often. So if we look up and down the league, it's never been this bad this early. So when you're handicapping, think of the mindset of the teams. Now, the teams that are buying in, that do believe, let's think about a team like New Orleans. They believe because if you're a young defender, now New Orleans is starting a couple of rookies on defense, but they get better each week because what do those rookies know? Hey, if we keep our team in the game, Drew Brees is going to win it. We don't have to win the game. We just have to play well enough for Drew Brees to be able to win it. So be thinking the rest of this NFL season about the confidence level of the teams that you're betting on. How much are they working in practice every day? Because you don't win the game on Sunday. You win the game on Tuesday when you pay attention in the film room. You win the game on Wednesday when you stay after practice for extra reps. Look for how that energy falls down because the energy tends to come from the quarterback on down in the NFL. And we are sitting on the worst group of collective quarterbacks. I mean, on this show 2 weeks ago, I think we said 11 or 12 teams had a substandard. Substandard meaning a guy who shouldn't even be in the league. A third of the league is going to be starting a quarterback this week that wouldn't ordinarily even be in the NFL.
And the Detroit Lions, I was hoping to get one of these long field goal props in here. And no, big face mask penalty for Green Bay. It's about to get ugly, Dave. Yeah, it's going to be about to be 24-3 here.
Well, this is where, okay, guys, for in-running purposes, and I don't know how many of you are still have some shops that are active. One more score by Detroit, and I think Green Bay starts running the ball to get off the field. The Packers have a game they got to believe they can win at Chicago on Sunday. If you think you can win that Chicago game, and the line's going to be close, the Bears going to probably be favored by about 3, you get off the field tonight. You run the ball in the fourth quarter. You don't get anybody hurt. You don't try to extend possessions.
Yeah.
So if you've got a shop that's still open out there for the total, this fourth quarter could go by real quickly.
That's a very good point, Dave. Yeah, you don't want to get Jordy Nelson killed reaching out for a high pass or something like that. Down 24-3 in a game, you know you're not really coming back to win right now. Yeah, 2nd and 8 on the 12-yard line. All right, Dave. So basically, McCarthy's coached the bulk of his career with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. So is McCarthy a good coach, or has he just had good quarterbacks?
He's had good quarterbacks. It would be hard to not do well with Favre and with Rodgers. What we see, I think, this year, and you can see the beginning of this at the start of last season when Green Bay was really struggling. Aaron Rodgers, the second half of last season, played quarterback about as well as quarterback can be played. He was doing so many things to make plays for a pretty average team. Now, they changed up the defense. They went to these new nitro packages this year. They're not going to be any better than average. They don't run the ball terribly well. It's only an average receiving core. Rodgers makes them look better than they are. So right now, Green Bay's a bad football team. A lot of this will get blamed on McCarthy, but maybe it should.
Yeah, it's not just Hundley here. Their defense is getting fucking picked apart here, Dave, tonight. No pass rush, no coverage. Like it looks like a practice. Like honestly, like Matt Stafford just drops back and Golden Tate's wide open all night. But this is what we talk about. It's a collective in which it breaks down systematically. All right.
Now here's your problem on both. Yeah, as we go forward, here's the problem on both sides of the equations. Now let's start projecting this out. You're going to have Brett Hundley versus Mitch Trubisky. That's not a whole lot of fun. You're going to have this wonderful matchup, McCown versus Fitzpatrick, like this is a Jet scrimmage from days of yore. When you start to go up and down the list of some of these head-to-heads, this is really, really, I guess what we get to do in primetime again next week, we get to watch Jay Cutler again. Although, let's give Cutler credit for one thing. He did not throw an interception against Oakland last night. The Raiders continuing their streak of getting deeper into an NFL season without an interception than any team in history. That's difficult to do when you can't even grab a ball off of Jay Cutler.
How is it possible that Andy Dalton, Dave, we're at this juncture of the season and Andy Dalton still doesn't have a touchdown pass in the fourth quarter?
Well, here's what was funny yesterday is we always wondered, how bad would the Bengals be if A.J. Green wasn't there? Well, if you watch that offense, after A.J. Green left the field.
Well, they ran the same play, Dave. I don't know. Bill Lazor is like, well, I'll just run the same play with what's his name, Joe Malone. It didn't work, Dave.
They literally had nothing that they could do. It's a bad offensive line. Green is somebody who makes other players look better because he almost always forces two defenders his way. You can get something opened up elsewhere, but boy, that stretch without Green, that was pretty hapless. Now, at some point, here's what I think the Bengals need to do. They came awfully close to trading A.J. McCarron. At some point, don't you say, wait a minute, what if McCarron is our guy for the future and better than Andy Dalton?
Yeah, I don't understand that either. So
yeah, McCarron's not going to the Pro Bowl anytime soon, but McCarron can be Andy Dalton. He can at least be that good. Why not give him the chance?
And what was amazing about it, Dave, is San Francisco only gave up a second-round pick for Garoppolo, yet they were willing to give a second and a third for A.J. Green. And in both dysfunctional fashions, everyone's talking about the Browns screwing it up and not getting it in on time at 4 o'clock, etc. Now there's reports that Sashi Brown, the GM of the Browns, actually purposely sabotaged the deal because he thought it was a crap deal. But Hugh Jackson has the ear of the wife of Jimmy Haslam, and Dee has the wife is the one that's really in control of the football team. So it's a freaking mess. Like, you know, they had all these draft picks. I thought that maybe Cleveland was taking a step in the right direction. But no, it's just a train wreck there still. Touchdown Lions. Just a train wreck there. But no, they're saying he's down. Not much better in Cincinnati. A story that kind of flew under the radar, Dave, is the fact that A.J. McCarron is suing the Bengals. He's filed a grievance against them out of all this, basically stating, you guys have screwed me around on my contracts, this muff deal. I'm eligible for free agency. He wants out, basically, of Cincinnati. That story's kind of flown under the radar, too.
It is. It's an awkward one to have happening in the middle of a season. You know, when you know the trading deadline is over now.
And if you're McCarron, Dave, and you haven't played yet, despite how bad and mediocre Andy Dalton has been, it's almost like Andy Dalton is like the coach's son or something, you know, like high school or Pop Warner. It's a big thing in Canada, you know, with the coach's son playing. It's in every sport. But, you know, it's almost like Andy Dalton is the coach's son, and it doesn't matter how bad he is, but, you know, A.J. McCarron's not going to get a look. And what I don't get, Dave, is then why, if you don't want to play A.J. McCarron at all, and even though Andy Dalton is legitimately holding you back, you don't want to play McCarron, then why the fuck did you refuse a deal for the Miami Dolphins when they wanted to trade for McCarron earlier? Like, the Cincinnati Bengals are pretty much turning into the Cleveland Browns right now. They need to clean house, Dave. You know, Dirk Cutter and Monken need to go in Tampa. You know, Marvin Lewis needs to go. I mean, this isn't going anywhere. They can bang their head against the wall as much as they want, but they look like they're dysfunctional from the ownership group all the way down.
Well, let's talk about an issue that's going to happen at the coaching level in the NFL. We've gone over and over again about how much the spread offenses have impacted the number of quarterbacks who are coming into the league that were good, the number of offensive linemen. Well, guess what the spread offenses also don't develop? They don't develop NFL offensive coaches. Who was Monken when he was in college? He's got to try to coach the spread. So look at how many teams don't have good offensive coordinator. And I know I've heard you probably complain more than anybody while watching these games about offense coordinators who don't have a good game feel, don't have those levels of creativity that you need to have. One of the guys there have been real questions about, and it's showing again tonight, Jim Bob Cooter.
Yeah.
Because the Detroit red zone designs have been abysmal. Well, what are we watching here right now?
We see it all the time. You see it all the time with these college teams, guys. Dave point too. You see it all the time in college. You'll see these spread offense teams. They'll move down the field, but once they get inside the 5-10 yard line, they're screwed. Because the only reason they're really moving the ball down the field in the first place because the field is spread out. Once they get into these condensed areas, now we know the teams have a lot of teams, you know, throwing the ball is tougher when you're on a 3 yard line or whatever. But you're right, Dave. They just hit the wall continuously. I thought that Jim Bob Cooter's shine was wearing off a little bit over the last couple of weeks. But tonight he's called a good game. He's just playing pitch and catch and keeping it pretty simple tonight.
Well, it's same against Pittsburgh last Sunday night. He actually called a great game overall in terms of the way they moved the ball against a good Steeler defense. I mean, it was the third best yardage total in NFL history for a team that didn't get a touchdown. Well, what happens again tonight? They
of course,
moved
Dave,
the ball.
I had a big play on the over last week, of course.
Yeah, same problem tonight. They move the ball very well until they get into the red zone. What you have to do, though, is one is playbook designs for the red zone, but also team designs. You need to have a power back somewhere in your rotation, which they don't have. Washington's not good enough. But what they don't have, and they took it for granted with Calvin Johnson for so many years, he was your prototypical red zone receiver because he was big and strong and he could go get the ball. He was the ideal guy on the fade pattern. Well, what don't they have? With Galladay injured, they don't have that 6'4", 6'5" wide receiver that you could use so well in the red zone. So it's a combination of tactics and talent both they haven't put together. But guess what we're doing? We're talking about all these Detroit weaknesses for a team that's got a solid chance to be in the playoffs now, just because the rest of the NFC is so far down. Forget about,
they can beat anybody. They can beat anybody in the NFC. Like, it's not crazy. Detroit, I think they'd have a harder time in Philadelphia, but that's the thing with Philadelphia. They might have a better record than everybody else, but when it comes down to a one-game setting, it could be fun, though, seeing, if it's the Vikings and the Rams and the Eagles and the Lions, and there's some new suspects, and then, of course, it'll end up being the motherfucking Patriots again, most likely in the AFC. All right, Dave, so Seattle and Arizona is Thursday Night Football. My 8.5 win total on Arizona, I gave up on it after all the injuries. I brought something up yesterday, actually, when we were talking about, no Carson, the injury, no Carson Palmer. Like, really, is Drew Stanton, the way Carson Palmer was playing, is it really that much of a drop-off? Would anybody really be, much worse than Carson was actually playing for them? Arizona can battle and win games. Bruce Arians, you talk about it. They'll come prepared. They've got athletes on their team, pro guys that, will want to win and will show up and compete. And they're battling. They're 4-4 right now, Dave. So I'm almost hoping, listen, even if I can get to, if they're 7-8 late or something, I can put myself maybe in a little bit of a hedge, or I can maneuver around this. But what do you make of this football game? Because truth be told, Arizona's going to look at the rest of the conference too and say, you know what? We're 4-4. Let's beat Seattle here. We're 5-4. Let's do this. What do you make of this game with Seattle laying 5.5, 6 on the road?
Yeah, I mean, you get that mental part from the Cardinals. If you win this game, you're tied with Seattle. You dropped them right back down to where you are. I don't like the price. I wanted to like Seattle here. I was hoping the price would come a little shorter. I was actually hoping to find a 4. I think Adrian Peterson gets gassed out here. We saw what happened to Buffalo against the Jets last Thursday night. LaShawn McCoy.
You called it, Dave. You called it. You're right. You said it could be a little gassed. And it's funny, Dave, last time too, Adrian Peterson had a big game. And I'm in the fantasy world. All the fantasy guys went crazy, hopped on him, and he was flat the following week.
No, and look at how extreme this was. If you take away the 2 kneel downs at the end of the game, 71 Arizona snaps, Peterson had 37 rushes and 2 receptions. That's a lot, not only for his age, if he's in playing shape, but I'm not sure he's in playing shape, because he hasn't been out there week after week. This short week is going to be real tough for him. Here's what matters to Arizona so much. When Peterson has the ball, Stanton doesn't. And this is sort of like the Mike Moore thing for Miami a couple weeks ago. Everybody said, oh, Cutler's out. That's okay. Mike Moore will be fine. No, watch Drew Stanton on Thursday. Those of you who thought that he could step in, no, you're not going to like what you see. So I think Peterson's legs won't be there. I think Arizona has a difficult time staying on the field, but I can't find a price point to take advantage. The markets were a little bit too sharp with this one. I would have done Seattle -4. I just can't go any higher.
Cincinnati Bengals are at Tennessee. We've got a 5 on the board. Tennessee gets the win yesterday. They end up pushing the closing number. Here's a big play for Green Bay. Big play for Green Bay. Finally popped through with a big play. 11 minutes and 17 seconds remaining, down 20-3 right now. So Cincinnati gets 5 at Tennessee. Over-unders 40.5. Chargers and Jags, intriguing football game. And, Dave, it's interesting. I saw that the Jags, and I like the Bengals yesterday because I'm an idiot. And I saw that the Jags, they have 4 wins by 20 or more points this year, Dave. It's bizarro world. When the Jags win, they kill the other team. Dave, in the last 8 years, they've had 4 wins of 20 or more points. This year, they have 4 alone. You get the Chargers going in there getting 4 points. Bengals getting 5 at the Titans. Any thoughts on those?
Yeah, let's throw a couple of things out there. Why did the Jacksonville games break open? Because the defense and the pass rush have been historically good. They'll be one of the lead topics in the Tuesday Point Blank. This sack percentage, one of the best in NFL history. So what happens? When they get a lead in a game, they become very dominant. When the other side has to drop back and throw the ball, the pass rush gets there, but also the secondary has turned out to be a lot better faster than they thought it was going to develop. It's something we've done a little bit with some in running, playing Jacksonville in the second half of games when they have the lead, knowing that that puts their strength right out front. I'll tell you the other thing that'll be a factor for them. Now, we talked about this with Dallas a lot, that you could lose Ezekiel Elliott because you've got pretty good depth at running back. Jacksonville's got a deep set of runners. So, yeah, Leonard Fournette is a talent. They don't miss him that much because they're really deep there. What this has done is if you got a good defense and you've got good running backs, it takes pressure off of Blake Bortles. So he's been able to just be Blake Bortles and get away with it. Jacksonville's an interesting item right now.
Yeah, they are. They come at you with waves on the defensive side of the football, rotating the defensive lineman in and out. And you know, I don't know what happened with Fournette, team photo, whatever the hell it was. But Marone clearly, you know, is running a tight ship there right now. And as well as you stated, I thought, all right, they don't have Fournette, but it's really an aggression thing as a whole, Dave. So it's an attitude. It's not like Leonard Fournette. It's like, all right, next man up. You run hard and aggressive. And I'll tell you what, Chris Ivory is a hard, aggressive runner. I know this. It's funny, and his agent even tweeted me tonight. It's funny on Twitter. Yeah, he's a big Trump guy, of course. So is his agent, Chris Ivory. I have a buddy who's a guy. He's a good guy. He's an NFL agent. He's got a couple of named guys and a bunch of, you know, smaller type guys. But I asked if I get Chris Ivory on my show, my TV show. And he told me point blank. He goes, Chris Ivory's one of the meanest dudes ever. He's like, he goes, you don't want to talk to him. He's not, you know, he won't be a great interview. He's not very nice. But he's a fucking tough running back, Dave. You know what I mean?
Well, you've got Ivory, you've got TJ Yeldon.
Yeah, that's what you need, though. That's the NFL. Like, I don't take it personal. No one does. You know, it's like a, you know, shocker. Not everyone in the NFL is the nicest guy in the world, Dave. That's why they're football players, you know?
So mark this down. When Jacksonville is ahead in games, one, a defense that is very difficult to backdoor. Two, look at the depth at running back and look at how many big runs Fournette has broken in the second half of games. So they are a terrific second half team because with the lead, because you get Blake Bortles out of the equation. There really isn't any evidence that Bortles is any better than he's been. He hasn't had to step up and do a lot lately. That may be their downfall later. But for now, Jacksonville's been a good team for the pocket, mostly through in running.
All right, Dave. So Minnesota Vikings and the Washington Redskins. This is an interesting football game as well. And our main man, big man on campus, God bless him, man. He loves his Philadelphia Eagles, and so does Donnie Rightside. And, you know, the Eagles are looking like the class right now of the NFC and the NFL. Their schedule has been pretty favorable. They've had a lot of home games in the last, month, the way it's set up. But I'm not taking anything away from them. But the fact of the matter is, nobody's really talking about the Vikings, who are only one game behind the Philadelphia. They've only lost 2 games, and they've done it with a ton of injuries. Their schedule is manageable, yet this is a big football game for them. Not to mention Teddy Bridgewater comes back. You know, I wouldn't shake things up right now. You're winning with Case Keenum. Yet the way the Vikings luck goes, Case Keenum will get hurt. So Bridgewater will get his opportunity. I tell Teddy, don't worry. You'll get your shot somehow, one way or another. But then you got a Washington Redskin team, Dave, that sort of the Redskins are symbolic of the NFL right now, aren't they? They can be really good or they can be really bad, the Redskins.
Well, think about how bad it could have been yesterday. That sitting there with a minute and a half left, they've been outgained 437 to 174. They had just been crushed by Seattle. But Seattle misses 3 field goals. Seattle, as the Seahawks have done all year, 16 penalties. They lead the NFL in penalties per game by a wide margin. They did all these things to leave the Redskins in the game. And what happens? Cousins hits back-to-back 2 long passes. Seattle lets one get away that they didn't have to. But when you look at the Washington side of that equation, the Redskins didn't do a lot of things right. They got away with the win. It's a real banged-up offensive line, so they get 2.2 yards per rush. They give up 6 sacks. They win the game anyway. Now, if they don't get some people back in the offensive line, this is a hard matchup for them.
Refreshed Minnesota Viking defensive line coming at him. And you mentioned Blair Walsh, actually. For the love of God, I don't know why. You mentioned the missed kicks. I don't know why Seattle would sign this guy. First off, okay, you don't want to pay Hoshka fine. But really, you're going to sign the guy to miss a chip shot in a playoff game against you? And as far as laying 5.5 on the road on a Thursday nighter, Dave, it's tough laying 5.5 on the road in a division game when last year these teams played a 6-6 game in this spot. You know, if you want to cover, let alone win a game, when your field goal kicker is as shaky as a college kid is at Army or something like that, you know? It's like the old Boise State days, 32-yard field goal, and everyone was holding their breath. Hard to lay points with Blair Walsh in that spot. We saw that yesterday with Seattle costing the Seahawks. It
really is. Now, if you wonder about what Minnesota plans to do at quarterback, Wednesday is their D-Day. They've got to decide if they have to activate Bridgewater by Wednesday or keep him on what they call the PUP list, the physically unable to perform. That'll take place Wednesday. If you don't see that Bridgewater is extended on the PUP list, that means there is a chance that he may be out there. I have not heard much behind the scenes about what the Vikings did. Is they took last week basically off. So I'm not sure what that rhythm is going to be there. But think about this. If Case Keenum is your number 3, you know, when Sam Bradford is healthy, Case Keenum would probably start for about, 7 or 8 other teams right now at least. So there is some depth there they have to work with. But if the Vikings want to think about January, you have to make your decision soon. And this is one of these awkward things for a coach. This is not a week-to-week at quarterback. It's if we want to win in January, we have to get one guy and commit to him.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, Dave, too. I didn't think I was like, there's no way. I was like, man, there's no way that Bridgewater is going to come back and play. But I've been reading the Minnesota newspapers a bit, and it seems like it's on the table, actually, that, yeah, Bridgewater comes back and Bridgewater's the starter type of deal, which seems like insanity to me. I mean, why shake things up right now, Dave? But as you stated, I would make him active. I'd get him out here. I'd make him active in case Keenum gets hurt, but I wouldn't shake things up right now.
Here's where you shake them up. It has to do with January. You know that Case Keenum will manage the rest of the regular season fine, but do you win playoff games with Case Keenum? So do you sacrifice a little bit of short-term? So similar to playing chess, where you might give up a couple of pawns if it gives you a better end-game positioning. Can you afford to maybe have a couple of lesser games out of Bridgewater, but get him in sync so that you have the upside in the playoffs that Case Keenum's not going to bring you? I don't want Case Keenum on the road in playoff games. Fine for the regular season. No worse than, maybe 8th or 9th from the bottom right now of NFL starting quarterbacks. Not a road playoff guy.
Dave, we just hit a prop. We had a prop on Theo Riddick, total combined rush and receiving yards, 35.5. He'd gone over that in 4 of the Lions' 7 games so far this year. So I didn't see a reason not to take it tonight. He was under that number, that is, until he just popped a 62-yard screenplay for a big play. And now floodgates are opening up here, Dave, suddenly, man. Detroit punches one in, 26-10, extra point pending.
I did not expect to see that. So by these late under notions,
it was 2 big plays, Dave. It was one big play to Cobb all the way down the field and 1 big play to Riddick down the field. Both similar situations.
And Green Bay was only looking to run the clock on that Cobb play. It wasn't a play designed to go down. But a question I have is, you just said that we just won on that Riddick prop. Does that mean you're sharing your winnings with your co-hosts, or was that a royal we that you echoed out there?
Yeah, it's not too much, Dave. Say it's not much to share. it's not too much to share. Say, all right, I won. I won on that. When I say we, but maybe some people are dumb enough to tail me on this stuff and play my props. So we hit the Golden Tate prop, hit the Theo Riddick prop. Good. We lost. We're going to lose the long field goal prop because McDonough cursed us, and the other field goal, of course, had to be 44 instead of 44.5.
And guess what's in play now that appeared to be dead literally just 10 minutes ago? The full game total is now back in play, and there are people all over the betting world that have just become big Brett Hundley fans. They need the backdoor score here, but the full game total is absolutely alive.
I've got a teaser under 50. Detroit Lions under 50. I'm going to snap, man, if this shit ends up at 51 somehow. The way you never know. You never.
Okay, you don't mind, like, if I see somebody going down the field to make that happen, I may sign off to watch, because watching you snap is such good entertainment. I don't want to have to sit here in this window. I want to be able to put it out to full screen.
Yeah, I think SBR actually put together a little montage of my meltdowns during live games.
And we're only halfway through the season.
I know.
So it's like they're saying, hey, look at what we can do with Gabe. I says, hey, wait till we get to January. And we've had the full season and the bowl games and all that going on. I said, it's only the beginning.
Yeah, I'm thinking of, you know what, holidays around the corner. I'm already thinking about Vegas, actually. Thinking, I'm going to look at the bowl games and the schedule, and probably New Year's, though. But we'll figure it out. I'll be watching some of the bowl games in Las Vegas, that's for sure.
Well, here's what you've got to do from an advanced standpoint. And we should start telling people this now. Do your planning if you're coming to Vegas, because New Year's Eve is a full NFL card. Monday, New Year's Day, you've got 5 bowl games. Be prepared for that as it lays out. Now, the playoff games are Saturday night, the day before New Year's Eve. Fiesta Bowl. So it's a great weekend to be in Vegas, but because it's such a great weekend, plan in advance.
Yeah, good point. I said book in advance so you pay less, Dave, right? Because, it's going to be very pricey.
Definitely book in advance. If you don't come to Vegas a lot and you're coming out for that weekend, please get an app. Go to the Westgate, go to CGT, go to William Hill. Don't try to get around town and bet that weekend. It will be insanity from a traffic standpoint. Get 2 apps. Split your money between 2 apps. That should be able to get you through.
They'll throw a UFC event in there too, New Year's, just to make it crazy. They always have a big UFC event. The Conor McGregor will be fighting or something that night too.
The one thing the NFL is not doing is, I don't know if this is part of a flex package or not. The NFL is not showing a night game New Year's Eve. They're showing several games on the West Coast, but I guess they can't. It's the last week of the season, so they can't have anybody playing at night that would be in the playoffs the next week. So here's the rarity. I believe for the first time I can recall, I'm checking the schedule, no college bowls at night. There will not be a New Year's Eve night game. And traditionally, I think it's been the Peach Bowl in Atlanta.
There's not one New Year's Eve night game, huh?
There is not one night game. I'm looking at the NFL. There is not. I'm looking. Unfortunately, the NBA schedule is not published through that yet.
Like you said, the Peach Bowl used to be me watching the Peach Bowl used to make me realize I had no social life, and of course, can't forget about my favorite, Dave. Although I used to like it better when it was Christmas night, but now our Christmas Eve Hawaii Bowl, Dave. Dave. Remember the old days? You like the old bookie days? Terrible doing it, but I never forget, man. It was probably like 1992-ish, 1992, 93. And I called in a bookie, Dave, Christmas morning. I was going to my grandmother's for like Christmas day and Christmas dinner and all that type of stuff. So I had to get the bets in. It's no internet and stuff, whatever. And I called this bookie at like 10:30 in the morning, Christmas morning, with a full slate of bets to get in, and I could hear his kids and his family in the background opening up presents. And I bet on the blue-gray game, Dave. Remember the blue-gray game says Christmas morning?
Absolutely.
I called in a bet and disturbed the guy at like 10:30 Christmas morning to get a fucking bet in on the blue-gray game. Hey, you're a bookie. You're at work, right, Dave? I remember I apologized, and he was like, no apologies. He's like, no, it's my job. It's like, no problem. And it was the old days. Remember, it was like Michael Jordan versus Shaquille O'Neal, Orlando Magic and the Chicago Bulls that day, I think, too. And I swear, fucking the Bulls won by 6, and they were 6.5 favorites. And Jordan missed the free throw. He closed his eyes. He's always fucking around, that guy. But yeah, remember, I missed the old blue-gray game, Dave, from Alabama. It was Christmas Day at noon.
Well, here's something that people should be prepared for. We'll do it on this show. We'll write about it a fair amount in Point Blank. We don't have the blue-gray anymore. The college all-star games are actually beatable, and I remember betting several blue-grays because the odds makers just sort of mail it in. You make somebody 1.5 and 38, but if you study the rosters, you look for combinations. You look for a team where you've got a quarterback and receiver from the same school, guys that already know how to play with each other. You get some coaches out there who want to win and not just want to go out and have fun. There are edges to be found in those. And I kind of miss blue-gray. We do have the Hawaii Bowl will be played Christmas Eve. The NFL will play on Christmas Eve, but the NFL will not have a night game. So the Hawaii Bowl is a night game. But on Christmas Day, we've got a late afternoon and night NFL doubleheader. I guess the NFL sort of conceded a little bit to the NBA. The NBA has owned Christmas Day.
Yeah, exactly.
A Christmas night game, Oakland at Philadelphia. In fact, it's a Monday night. Are you going to be on the air for that one?
Oh, I'm on
in advance.
What? Which Monday?
Christmas night.
Oh, the Christmas. No, we haven't figured it out here yet. That'll have to be bonus money. That one. But yeah, we haven't figured that one out. But you know me, Dave. I'm on 365 pretty much, right?
Okay, now let's go back to the last Packer drive. Just a little side thing, and we talked about this before the sequence started. Brett Hundley just got knocked down 3 times on the final drive. 1 sack. He got hit twice. When you're down 3 scores in the middle of the fourth quarter. Okay, I know you want to develop Hundley if you're McCarthy. You want to try to get some confidence to win the games down the line. But having your quarterback take hits in the middle of the fourth quarter when you're down 3 scores, that's just such a dangerous thing to do.
Gabe Morency joining us from Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, so about 5 minutes left in this game. We're going to switch over to the basketball game shortly. So, Dave, I was at the Buffalo Bill game. They were flat on Thursday night against the Jets up there at MetLife and at East Rutherford. So now the Saints come to town. I was surprised to see this number actually at 2.5, Dave. I'm surprised. I know the Saints have won 6 in a row right now, but to see the Saints favored on the road here, I guess, the Bills just not getting a lot of respect. People just saw the Bills. No one really has ever seen the Bills all year, and then they see them on national television and they sucked. So I guess I understand the perception a little bit, but I think it's a very good spot for the Bills. McDermott can, get back. It's the old college, Dave. You guys aren't as good as we, listen, we're not as good as we thought we were. Everyone was saying how great we are. It's a good reality check. They've had an extra week to prepare. Saints aren't the best road team coming to the East Coast. I'll look the weather up right now, but I'm not just saying this because I'm a Bills fan. I think the Bills are in a good spot here.
It is. We absolutely take a 3 if we see it. I'm not sure we do. I've loved the New Orleans defense all year from a market standpoint, thinking they're better than people think they are. Well, now that people start to think the Saints defense is good, they're not quite that good because the schedule has laid out so well for them.
Perfect, Dave. I just looked.
They've looked at so many bad quarterbacks.
Showers, Dave.
Yes.
Yeah, showers. Scattered showers, 40%, 23-mile-an-hour winds, 45 degrees. Perfect. That's exactly the weather I was hoping for.
Yeah, Buffalo will find their way into pocket, but I got all week to find a 3 or to negotiate, a 3 with somebody. They crashed the total quickly. They stuck a 48.5 out there last night that was too high. That's down to 46 already. I wouldn't be surprised if it went to 45.5, maybe even 45.
All right, Dave, I'll blast through the lines, and I want to ask you a question actually about this. And the hour's flown by here, but you don't have to comment on every game, but we'll just blast through the lines. You comment on the ones you want. We see, the Bears laying 3 to the Packers. Packers 3-point underdogs to the Chicago Bears. Jets -1 at Tampa. Some real great games on the board here. We see Detroit Lions. I see a 9.5 at Bet Online, but there's a 10.5 at 5 dimes right now. Houston and the Rams is 11. Giants, San Francisco is a pick 'em. Dallas and Atlanta. Atlanta Falcons minus 3-point favorites against the visiting Cowboys. We'll have to keep our eye on the Cowboys situation, of course. New England and Denver, 7.5. And then the Monday nighter next week, Miami and Carolina. Carolina laying a 10 spot. Any thoughts on any of those numbers?
Let's look for Miami to maybe hang around against Carolina. One of the things the Panthers said they needed to do by getting rid of Kelvin Benjamin was to open their offense up. We're too limited. We got to be able to stretch the field. We got to be able to do more things. They only had 3 different players catch a pass yesterday, and Cam Newton was their leading rusher. So I think Carolina's a little bit limited in terms of getting a margin. Rest of this board of stuff, I tell you what I want to do hard reading on. I was convinced coming into the year that no coach in recent years was under less pressure to ever win a game than Kyle Shanahan. You go 0-16, nobody cares. You're just building to next year. If Shanahan decides that he wants to win a game, I think the 49ers could go out there and outwork the Giants this week. Just play harder. Just bring more enthusiasm to the table. But I need to hear something out of Shanahan because he's just been doing a little bit of tinkering. And of all things, and this is going to sound ugly, Cleveland plus a 10 against Detroit. This is such a big win for Detroit tonight. When you understand Detroit's history at Green Bay.
Yeah, 1-24.
In fact, they're showing it on the screen right now, right as I say it. They're 1-24. That is such a big win for them. Look, Detroit's not going to punch a lot of people out. The things you talked about earlier that Jacksonville does to bludgeon people when they get a lead, Detroit doesn't do that. They don't have the depth at running back to wear you down. They don't have the pass rush to take you out of the game. It's ugly, but give me Cleveland plus 10 in the setting to come in fresher, have better legs. And if you're Jim Caldwell and the Lions, you're thrilled to win by 7 and move on. Wow. You don't have the mentality to want to go out and get a margin. So give me Cleveland plus 10.
Over players right now, Dave, and under bettors sick to their stomach, Dave. It's amazing, isn't it?
No, but look at here comes the drama, though. Here comes the drama. One of the worst red zone offenses.
You're right.
Because a field goal does
it sets up the drama for me, though, for a potential garbage fucking touchdown after this, where I'm going to lose my teaser. I didn't trust the under, so I teased it. I like Detroit, so I was like, I like the under, but I don't trust it. Wow.
I believe if Detroit scores, Green Bay takes a knee.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think they try to score or the pick 6.
This is almost good practice, though, isn't it, Dave, for the Detroit Lions right now? Like you said, here we are. This is like 40 fucking plays inside the 3 going back to last Sunday, guys. And, and first play, fade pattern, way out of bounds, Dave. It's almost comical watching them do this.
The problem is they don't have the prototype fade receiver. Galladay, they were hoping would be that guy. He's 6'4". He's a good athlete. He hasn't been on the field in over a month because of injury. They don't have that guy out wide. Now we got Washington in the backfield. Are they going to try to give him another carry? He's their strongest running back physically, but I'm not sure he can play that position.
They lost 5 yards. The people with the under, man, you might dodge a bullet. This is it, 3rd down. Do they throw into the end zone or do they just run it here, Dave? Just, really? You're up 27-10. Now, if you're Detroit, I guess you're getting pissed, right? You got to score a touchdown.
You have to, because you know what? You can walk off the field 30-10 and actually feel bad because
you'd be deflated. You're right. You could win the game. If I was Stafford, I'd be like, this is fucking embarrassing, man.
In fact, if they don't score on 3rd down, let's see if they go on 4th because they need it so badly for their psyche.
They don't get it off before. No, of course not. No. Wow. NFL. People are going to snap. There's always someone, Dave, right? Like, we say somebody. I don't have it. I don't have people in the chat do. All right, Dave. So before we get you out of here, I wanted to ask you, you said if I can buy my way or I can negotiate my way into a 3. I was talking about this with somebody the other day that no one negotiates anymore. Like, even in stores, Dave, people looking like you're crazy. You go in, there's a price, you try to negotiate. And, I saw a thing about, old school, business and stuff, like, New York and the fabric district and, jewelry stores and music stores. You negotiate, Dave. I bought a guitar. When I bought that Ibanez, I didn't just take it off the rack. I told the guy, I said, you know what? You're charged. I said, it's 770. I said, if you can get it down, man, I think maybe I could do this. It's like buying a car. No one does it anymore. They knocked off $100 and I bought the guitar. I wanted it anyways, but I got it for $100 less. Nobody does this anymore. Was there ever a time that you could really negotiate and walk into like a Leroy's or something and say, listen, they got fucking 4 over at Caesars, but I got $5,000 right now. If you give me 5, I'll bet it here with you. It's almost like a drug deal, Dave. You don't have that anymore. I was talking about someone, and there's a bookie we know here, and he does it actually, where he tells you, like, the scores and odds website. He goes, you find the best fucking price on that site, and you call it in on that price. I'll honor that price. Was there ever a day in Vegas where you could walk in and say, listen, I'll walk out right now and go bet it somewhere else?
The difficulty in Vegas is very heavily regulated. And there are people in the industry who've gotten into trouble.
And so corporate as well, too, right, Dave? Yeah. Maybe in the old days before the old mob guys would say, all right, yeah, I'll give you a 7 instead of a 6.
Yeah, well, every bet has to be recorded. And what the Gaming Control Board says, you cannot show preference to any particular customer. You cannot offer to one what you don't offer to all. That's
okay. Interesting. Yeah.
That's Nevada. And I know there are good people here in town who have gotten into trouble because of that regulation. But that's in Nevada. What happens when you cross the state lines? Well, some of this I always have to be careful to talk about. But are there deals? Oh, hell yeah. There are absolutely. And one of the things that happened, especially in a game like New Orleans Buffalo, is as the week goes on, I can say, come on, what's the best you can give me? Buffalo +3 minus $1.17. You got room for a little bit?
Yeah.
And you know what they'll do? Because the people you are doing that with, you have relationships with. First, we got to watch this play because this is so important. I am so intrigued. I have nothing writing here, but I'm so intrigued.
And it's so important. Great fucking play. Yeah, just like Jim Bob Cooter designed it, Dave. The number 72.
I mean, think about this.
They can't do it. They can't score.
You went to the 2-minute warning to take all the time in the world. Your starters are still out there. I would probably go on 4th down. But now, what is that now? I believe 8 red zone trips the last 2 games without a touchdown. That is – you're supposed to be about as happy tonight as you would have been all year. We beat the Packers by 20 on the road. And yet there are going to be a lot of guys unhappy because you know what? We haven't solved our problem. The issue they had coming in, and Green Bay's not a great red zone defense either. This is troubling. And, of course, the NFL, they'll get –
Caldwell looks pissed, Dave.
He's got to be.
Look at him. Like he doesn't – does that look like a coach that's winning 27-10?
Because he knows what this really means.
He really looks angry, for real.
If we're going to win games in January, we're going to have to get touchdowns out of these situations.
Yeah.
We don't have the personnel. We don't have the schemes. That last play, they were trying to throw a slant pass from about the 8-yard line. How often do you see that? When the defense has everybody packed into the middle of the field, you've got to block so many people to execute that play and get to the goal. Slant passes work up and down the field because the safeties can be 10 or 15 yards off the ball. That slant pass, you're running right into a safety that's standing at the goal line. So that's such a tough play to execute, even if they do get the pass off. No, they're not going to be terribly happy for what should have been a big, big win for their psyche and for their confidence. But they have more to be happy about game than the Packers do. Packers come away with nothing tonight to be happy about it anyway.
Dave Morency. Dave, we'll let you get to the column. I know you've got work to do here this evening. It's always a pleasure. We'll be speaking tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern on the Fantasy Sports Radio and television networks. It's always a pleasure, Dave.
It's been great, Gabe. Good night.
There's Dave Morency with us. Great stuff. Great stuff with the professor as always. And we put ourselves in a decent situation here in which, with this teaser, because with my luck, Green Bay's probably going to score here. Listen, if anyone's on the under of this game, I wouldn't be breathing yet, man. You got $1.36 left. Who fucking knows? One play and you're toast. Yeah, the Jets. Boom. Cash that. I gave the Jets today on TV as well. Although, what did we lose? We lost the Caps and the Leafs did not win in regulation. Oh, see? Sweatshop begins. Look, I got a fortune cookie here. Let's see what my fortune says. It says you will lose a lot of money on the NFL football. Ancient Confucius says, NFL referee will treat you wrong. Fortune cookie says, Green Bay Packers scored late touchdown to ruin night and under bettors. Fortune cookie says, ancient wise Confucius never bet on football. I appreciate that, Justin. Oh, here's the flag. Just a little drama for the over-under bettors. It comes down to one play on the 1 yard line. Thank God they didn't score a touchdown. I'd have a heart attack. Like Dave said, he wanted to get off the air to watch me. I knew this was going to happen. This always happens. Untimed down for the one for all the gamblers. The total meaningless play, but for the gamblers of the world. This is fucking. Hey, what up, Donnie? And Donnie Rightside will be on right after Dave Malinsky tomorrow. No, all right, here it is. Of course, you're in a shotgun. Oh! Under bettors right now. And somebody had it. It's not like, did anyone in the chat have the under? You guys only admit wins anyways. No one ever admitted. I've never seen anyone in the chat ever lose a bet. Just to be a dick now, I fucking should tweet out. Told you the over was a lock. What a fucking screw job. I feel for you guys, man. I feel for you. Look, last night I only bet the money line. I always bet the over. I always take the points. Last night I was on tilt, so I'm like, fuck this. Give me the money line on the Dolphins. Of course, I would have pushed. I told you. I saw a thing the other day. Las Vegas sports books have made money 56 consecutive months in a row. And I'm like, I don't know how that's possible because I've never seen any capper from Vegas ever lose before. They all win 88% of the time. Who's losing his money? Walter Trotter, I feel for you. What a fucking screw job. You can't bet the unders. That's right. I'm not scolding you guys. I'm not one of these guys. Oh, you can't do that. But I'm just stating, it's fuck, man. The NFL, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like these fucking games, man. They find a way of getting there. Because, anytime it's low like that, it's just too low. You almost have to blindly do it. I like the under, and I realized, I was like, if I take the under, I will get fucked. Anyone that knows this, people are always saying to me, Morency, you never take unders. I never take unders because of bullshit like this. The last time I took an under, I think it was a Giant game earlier this year, and I teased it, and it was same bullshit, man. I had under 51.5. And it was the same thing. It was cruising under. Everything was fine. And I lost and with 2 seconds left, and it got to 52 on the teaser. And same bullshit. It was like meaningless. And I wanted to it was one of the most frustrating beats I've ever had. I was like, even when I tease it, I lose. That's why I called this with Dave when he was on. I said, watch, Dave, they're going to score, and then I'll lose my teaser. They'll score. I knew Green Bay was going to score. I told you. Too bad they took it off the book. I would have bet on that. I knew Green Bay was going to score. I'm surprised. I had the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. I want to bet in a shootout. I once lost literally 24 shootouts in a row. I swear to God, you guys know. People, you guys, a lot of you watch me for years. Remember I literally lost, I think it was 19 to 23 shootouts in a row. Remember I'd sit here and the game would go to overtime and I'd just tell you, take the other side, guys. And then it would be bing, bing, I couldn't fucking win. I remember when I was in Vegas, too, I heard Dave Koken fucking freaking on the radio once. Koken's like, I've lost 26 times in a row in extra innings. It's impossible to do, but I've done it. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. Every gambler, Ed Rush, thinks they have the worst luck. We all have bad luck. All right? We all have bad luck. That's just the way this shit is. Like I said, I had fucking the over last week, guys, in the Lions-Steelers game. Big bet, too. All day, I was like, man, my best bet of the day. Lost like a fucking dime on that. Fucking these cocksuckers are inside the five times. They got 3 points. That's why today I really thought, I was like, they're not going to score. The Lions can't score in the red zone. They move the ball up and down the field, but they can't score. Let's go over to a more entertaining sport. What up, official Korean? Your name, official Korean. Are you really Korean at least? Yeah, that Porsche chick is pretty hot. Official Korean. Justin P. What do you mean I never talk NHL? It's not true. I do talk NHL, but it's the middle of Monday Night Football here, Justin. And, we got Miami going on. There's one hockey game going on. But no, we talk a little hockey. You're right. I don't talk as much hockey. I'll be honest with you. I was told on national television, don't talk about hockey. And I like getting paid every 2 weeks, so I said, all right. So That's one thing. They have a graph. Cardano freak as we talked about hockey on the radio for 5 minutes. He goes, you guys talked about hockey. You lost like 28% of your audience. Fuck. He goes, it just dipped. Gone. He goes, I'm not telling you what to do, but he goes, if you want to lose your audience, keep talking about hockey. No, you know why? Because the Score television network was on in Canada, Justin. The Fantasy Sports Network is more of an American network, right? But no, it's not like I ban hockey. I gave hockey picks today on the show. I still talk hockey. I usually do a hockey segment once a week on TV. In the playoffs, I talk more hockey. It's the regular season, dude. Yeah, my Sunday card will be smarter at JM. I try to get a hockey segment in once a week. Listen, I'm a stubborn guy. They know that too. I would never not talk about something, even if my bosses told me to, just because that's who I am. And they know that. That's why he told me. He goes, I tell everyone else not to do it, but he goes, you go at your own discretion if you think it's a good story. And I told him, listen, fuck. I said, we'll talk about Vegas more than anything. I'm not stupid. If I'm going to talk about hockey on TV, I'll talk about the Rangers, Vegas, Chicago. People in the United States don't give a shit about the Toronto Maple Leafs. I know it's a shock to Leaf fans and shit, but as far as here is concerned, we have a lot of hockey bettors and stuff, but you know what it is, Justin? And trust me, we'll talk hockey as the season progresses. When there's hockey nights, we'll talk hockey, but it's Monday Night Football. What do you want to know? What do you want me to say right now? Yeah, we'll talk. We talk hockey though, Justin. See, yeah, like how many see you guys even here? All right, do a little hand check here. Do yes or no. Do you want more? Do you want more hockey talk? Yes or no? And listen, like Babano's doing hockey. Check out SBR. He's doing hockey. Like people that like hockey will go find hockey, but as a whole, I don't know. So we'll see. Robbie says yes. Fade my picks. No. No, 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 no. See? 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 Like see, it's more of a no. It's more of a no than a yes. Yeah, but like Matthias says, I talk all sports. Like I'll talk soccer too. Like it's not hockey yet. The season just started. And I've always said this before. I don't fucking talk hockey till there's snow on the ground. I'm from Montreal, man. I was the only one in Montreal radio, that in the summertime, I would not talk hockey. I would kick people off. I would tell people, if you're calling me about hockey, people call me in July. Hey, Morency, what do you think of the Canadians traded, what do we package Jose Theodore and Saku Koivu for Mario Lemieux? What do you think of that? I say, I think it's July. Unless you're calling me about the Expos or the Alouettes, fuck off. You know what? Honestly, Justin, that's been my deal with hockey now, too. These cocksuckers won't fucking award the Stanley Cup until June. It's like, come on, man. I might not even be alive in June for all I know. Fuck. June? Like, fuck, man. What, November, December, January, February, April? I'm already sick of it, fuck. Fucking World Juniors coming up next. Oh, boy, World Juniors. Steve Wilson, you remember that shit. These fucking assholes in Montreal, maybe if they cared more about the Expos. I like Notre Dame in that game, young Jeezy. I like the Irish in that game. And you know another thing is, too? Hockey is a hard sport to casually watch. You know what I mean? Like basketball, I can check in it. It's 30-29. You know, we can talk right now. Hockey's like, oh, no, he's up and down. He scored. Oh, what a save. And like, I was watching the Leafs fucking in overtime. Romanek was having a heart attack. Hand-to-hand action. They're going, oh, here he scores. And it's a 3-on-1 and 2-on-1. You got to love 3-on-3 overtime hockey, don't you? These fucking hockey guys, too. I'm like, settle down, Romanek. Fuck. It's fucking November. They're playing against an expansion team, right? This isn't Game 7 of Stanley Cup Finals. No, I don't mind Romanek. I think Romanek's good. Coolius hurts my throat. Fuck Paul Romanek. I should be the fucking play-by-play guy in the Toronto Maple Leafs game. Nobody loves the Leafs like I do. Nobody's promoted the sport of hockey like I have. Fucking Leafs, they wouldn't even fucking watch my audition tape. Oh, Paul Romanek. The fuck what Paul Romanek ever done? Yeah, I bet on rugby, Matthias. I like to bet on rugby unders. No, I'm a pretty good hockey bettor, actually. I've been very good this year, and I get sidetracked by this fucking stupid bullshit NBA and NFL. In fact, my hockey picks have been smoking this year. It's funny. Hockey was the one sport I was best at, and I talk about it the least. It's funny, and I know it the best too. I know, Mo. I know all sports pretty good, but like as far as hockey's concerned, like I see things. And I'm like, come on, man. You're supposed to turn left because if you turn left, you're going to be able to see the whole, like, you know, I know every little fundamental, like, little thing when I see hockey. Like, it just naturally, I'm like, come on, dude. You're not supposed to turn your body that way. My grandfather was a hockey player. Like, I lived with my grandfather when I was a kid, so he used to fire pucks at me fucking every day. Yeah, Matthias, I am looking forward to betting on the World Cup soccer this summer. World Cup soccer this summer is going to be great. The Germans are going to win. Lock it up, Germany. Come on, Andy. Brazil. Come on, man. Brazil's not winning in Russia, dude. And Russia's not winning in Russia. And Germany's the closest thing to Russia. Right? It's in Russia. No, it's in Russia. Not enough, Justin. I had a bad night Saturday night leading up to GSP. I wanted to put like 500 on GSP, but I didn't. I ended up losing. I appreciate that, Ace Farmer. It was very mean, but at least I know Ace Farmer watches my video of the day because I had a good Hillary Clinton and Chelsea Clinton line today. The Netherlands didn't qualify. Netherlands are big chokers, man. What's up, Eric LeDuc? Thanks, man. Yeah, if you guys missed my Who Ruined Your Sunday today, I started throwing money at the camera today. It was pretty good. Who would the dark horse be in the World Cup? Let me look at the odds right now. All right, here's these are the odds at the Westgate, Vegas. Germany 5-1, France 5-1, Brazil 6-1, Spain 7-1, Argentina 8-1, Belgium 10-1, Italy 15-1, England 20. I think Germany wins. If I'm looking at long shots here. I think Portugal. Portugal not getting a lot of respect at 20-1. Portugal are a motherfucking tough team to deal with in these tournaments. Portugal play good defense. They could be sloppy at times, but generally, they're going to play pretty good defense. They don't do anything crazy, and then boom, Ronaldo gets you. And another thing with Portugal, these motherfuckers, man, have played with pressure like none other over the years, all right? They never win. They're like, I've been to Portugal. My father lived in Portugal, all right? I've been to Benfica and shit like that. I know their mentality. Like Portugal are, their neighbor is Spain, all right? So Spain gets all this glory all the time for soccer. And Portugal, people speak Portuguese in Brazil, right? So Portugal is really like a Latin American country that's in Europe. It's a weird, like they have a weird identity thing. Like, so, they're in Europe, but they're really, they want to be like Brazil. Like it's kind of a weird deal. So Spain is like a rich country that looks down on Portugal. So it really pisses fucking Portugal off when Spain's fucking winning fucking tournaments and dancing around and shit. Portugal doesn't like that. Portugal soccer is always known as like the little little brother of Brazil. You guys want to be like us. You're not quite like us, but you guys are all right. It's one of those deals. So Portugal's always had an inferiority complex over the years. The people, the country, their soccer. And now, with Ronaldo, good-looking dude, fucking, we're cooler than you. And, oh, yeah, fuck you. We won, fuck. Right? And look, they made it to the fucking Euro final and lost. And then they get back again. They ain't fucking around. So, like, to me, at 20-1, they're a dangerous team. They're playing with house money right now. They don't have the same pressure anymore. And they're a tough team to beat, man. I think Portugal at 20-1 worth a look. I wouldn't fucking bet England fucking I'd rather bet on I don't have a line. It's like Frank Costanza. You can score if you had a hot date in a satin night sheet. He just tails off. I don't like this phrase. I wouldn't bet them with your money. 10-foot pole is lame. I wouldn't bet them with, I don't know. I mean, I got to come up with a one-liner for that one. I choked. I didn't have anything. Anthony Joshua, man. Anthony Joshua's the man. Yeah, Italy, I wouldn't, the church. I don't know if you remember that line. He's like, You couldn't score if you had a hot date on it. He just tails off. Oh, here's Big Man on campus. He knows soccer. England are the biggest fucking chokers, man. England should just walk around like fucking with like rope around their neck. England ain't winning shit. What's that? You couldn't, yeah, it was Kruger. Kruger, if I says your son, you couldn't smooth a hot date if you had a silk. Great, it's a great line, Dad. He's like, never mind. Never mind. Hey, Mendoza, I'm not professing to be the biggest soccer expert in the world, but I am a good international soccer bettor. We've had good success over the years in these tournaments. And in fact, man, like you guys remember the one in Canada here, fuck that the chick one, the Chicks World Cup, we fucking killed it, fuck. I'm good at international sports, the Olympics, international hockey. Justin talking about hockey. Wait till the World Juniors comes. I'll murder that shit. Yeah, it's a Festivus, Lebowski. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I'm a big fan of Kruger, too. Oh, don't leave already, big man. What, Big Man and Tom Marino getting come on, guys. Play nice, everyone. What's the problem here? Can we talk about soccer without fighting? I mean, come on. No one's ever fought when talking about soccer or religion before. What's the problem? I didn't say any bet was stupid. I didn't even see Big Man's bet. I just said I don't believe in England. Fuck. It's like betting on the fucking Cleveland. England's like the Cleveland Indians. They're good, but they'll find a way to lose. No, we're ready. Look, we're ready for the World Cup. Warriors starting to pull away a little here. I like to look up Monday nights and see if games go under more. It seems like they're flat Monday nights. I don't know. Maybe it's in my head. Nice and official trophy here. I'd say France is pretty dangerous too. France is a dangerous team. Like it wouldn't shock me. Like I'd say if I had to pick one, I'm going with Germany. But if I had to pick the other one, I'd say France. And in honor of SBR, we got to go with Costa Rica. That's my CONCACAF team with no Canada.
starting to play better. The third quarter is when they take games over. Welcome to Warriors Halftime Live, presented by Jack in the Box. Great Button, Gary Sanjay, Kalena Zabuki. They shot 36% from the floor. It was god-awful, Kalena, for most of the half, 16 of 44, but they got to the free throw line in the first half. They did get to the free throw line. That was disgusting basketball. It really was. But they end up 13, and they can't have to be demoralized right now. They forced 12 turnovers. I thought that was a key. They're active on that end. Really couldn't buy a bucket for a while there. And Miami got caught. Steph got his three block twice. When does that happen? You can't buy a bucket. It's just a lid on that rim for most of that first half, but they end up 13. They got to get that turnover down. Yeah, it's deflating because when you're Miami, you've held them good check in terms of turning them over, field goal percentage below 40, and you're still down. It's tough. Kalena, you got to give me a good one here. The Patrick. That wasn't disgusting. That was the Warriors Halftime Live is presented by Jack in the Box. Try fast food's first ever ribeye burgers. Only at Jack in the Box. Limited time only. Do you need the most trusted battery this holiday? Maybe not. Maybe you could trust the world would be just as happy without them. Maybe you could trust you wouldn't be replaced. And your slavery possessed. And then in the middle of nowhere, the only friend you have left. Entire world. You could just consume yourself. And if you're like a lot,
I'm ready to go for the World Cup. Name that flag. No, I've met nearly everybody in the UFC. I never met Chael Sonnen. I actually pull for Norway. No, the Breakers don't play every night, guys. You guys are the fucking Breakers. They play Thursday. See, Norway didn't make it, though, this time. Norway unders are good. We'll bet the Greece unders. Fucking Greece games. Iceland made it. Iceland will be a live dog. I don't know who half these countries are, I got to be honest with you. Mexico. $50-1, Mexico. What's this, Texas? What's this, a Texas flag? Fuck. I got a shitload of these flags, man. Be good for Mick. We're gonna get Mick. I'm gonna send this to Mick. Fuck, Mick's got to get the flag in the background. We'll be sitting here watching the World Cup, waving flags. Let's go, man. Let's go, man. All right, let's see the what's the second half line here. So the Miami Heat are losing by 13. Not what we want to see. You know what sucks? We were hanging around in this game the entire first half, but there was a 21 to 5 run to end the first half. That's the thing. Golden State can, they flick that switch. Most teams don't have a switch to flick. They do. They flick that switch. They go on a run. Hopefully they'll lose interest and they don't pull away too much. Second half number. Golden State Warriors -4.5, 107.5. They only put up 87 points in the first. So 87 and 107. So you're telling me that we only got to get to 195 here? The total was it opened at 227, and now the new in game here is 194.5. You almost have to take the over here, in the sense that the odds makers are usually not wrong. Like they're spotting us. They're spotting us 32 points. Like were the odds makers 32 points off from their opening number this morning of 227? I almost got to believe that we're playing with some good math here. The Miami Heat, though, have been pretty bad on offense. They've only scored 37 points. Motherfucking Phoenix Suns, man. Fucking cocksuckers. All right, we're gonna go over to 194.5 here. I don't bet much golf. I'll bet like the majors. I bet NASCAR, though. I'm pretty good at NASCAR. Thing with NASCAR is it's on the same time as the NFL. Mendoza's got 196. Sean Crane's got the Heat on the money line. Yeah, you never know. Positivity, Sean. Yeah, 108 is kind of high, but not really in the modern NBA. These motherfuckers, like, honestly, they should put up like 58 or something here in this quarter. And then we go into the, needing 50 into the fourth. As I stated, the opening number this morning was 227 points. Now we're getting 194.5. It's not often you have a 32-point differential. It's not like it's not like football where there's like fucking lightning and some weather factor. What's up, Brett Patterson, Florida Gulf Coast in the house? What up, Brian? NASCAR has been very entertaining this year. Yeah, let's see. Do we have NASCAR futures? Martin Truex looked like the guy to beat, but now You know, it comes down to one race, essentially, right? There's one more race before the final at Homestead. They're in Phoenix this week. 3 guys are already into the final 4. Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Martin Truex Jr. That's going to be an epic race, man. It's most likely going to end up being Keselowski being the 4th guy to get in. I would say if not Keselowski, probably Denny Hamlin. No odds right now. I don't see any odds for this. Kevin Harvick owns Phoenix, though. I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Harvick won again, even though he doesn't have to. He's kind of racing without any pressure, though. NASCAR playoffs are pretty cool. It's just it's unfortunate that their playoffs are pretty much head-to-head with NFL football all the time. And you would figure it's the same audience, but it really isn't. It is and it isn't. Like NASCAR audience is more of a college football crowd than NFL crowd. You know, there's a lot of NASCAR races in states that don't have NFL football. You know, Tennessee, Virginia, Alabama. You know, good. There's many more others, but it's more of like college football fans, you know? Like NASCAR would be worse off if their races were Saturday than Sunday. All right, second half has started, and it starts off with a brick from the Golden State Warriors. Problem is the Miami Heat, they slow it down. They don't want to get into a track meet with the Warriors, and they're slowing it down. But the thing is, you don't win by slowing it down with the Warriors. You don't win anyways. But you might as well just speed it up. And then Miami misses a fucking layup. Fuck. Don't turn this into 5 minutes without any points, guys. Somebody fucking score here. All right, Clay's going to the line. Fuck me. I don't want to look at the line. I'm sure it dropped to 192. 193.5. Yeah, hit these free throws, Clay. No, it's not Clay. It's what's his face. Fuck. You know that I'm talking about. The other guy. The guy, you know, the guy. All right. What else is going on? Big story of the day here. Josh Gordon admits he'd get drunk and do drugs before every Browns game. Like, can you really blame the guy? The guy played for the fucking Cleveland Browns, man. Like, seriously. The smoking weed before the game thing, you know, whatever. As Josh Gordon says in an interview with GQ, that he was drunk or high before pretty much every game that he played in the NFL in his first 3 seasons. I'd have these little pre-made shots. I used to love Grand Marnier. I could drink it down smooth. I could drink a lot of it. But if it wasn't that, it might be whiskey or something. I drink like half a glass, a couple of shots, trying to warm my system up, get the motor running. That's what I would do to get fired up for games. Gordon said he also liked to smoke weed before games if he could fit it into the drug testing schedule. I used to make a ritual of it before every game. If I'd already been drug tested that week or the day before the game, I knew I had a couple of days to buy a clean system. Even before I was getting tested for alcohol prior to my DUI, I would take the biggest bong rip I could to try to conceal the smell of my clothes. The Browns wide receiver Idioti would also smoke with a bunch of guys on the team before each game. But I'm not going to talk about them, Gordon says. When asked by GQ how many times during his NFL career he drank or smoked weed, Gordon gave an honest answer. Every game. Every game, probably every game of my NFL career. The receiver admits he's basically a functioning alcoholic in his entire life. Highly functioning. but I pushed the limit. I don't know how I did it. It could be before games, could be before practice, after practice. I felt as though I was enabled. I thought it was okay. This is the norm. I saw other guys doing it as well. He says it's therapeutic for him to reconcile his past and talk about what he's done. It's beneficial for me at this point to talk about it. The more I get it out, the more I feel better. The more that other people know that I feel more at ease walking the streets without this target on my back, without having to look over my shoulder. It's actually therapeutic. That's exactly it, Rob Chambers. I said this about Steve Sarkisian. Steve Sarkisian was a functioning alcoholic and a successful coach, functioning alcoholic. Guy gets to be sober and stuff. And, look, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing right now. Yeah, he's not snitching. He's just saying I'm not the only one that did this. 60-40. $60-40, little run here. So Miami are falling apart, and the in-game total has fallen to 197.5. Oh, fallen. It's up to 197.5. Good. I'm confused with the real number. All right, that's good. I'm so used to bad news. I'm fucking, hey, we got 3 points here. Good. I'll tell you right now, man. All right. I know somebody that was with a football team at like 4 or 5 in the morning the night before they played. They were playing a night game. And my buddy told me, he's like, man, I'm telling you, he's like fucking half the team are fucked up, bro. He's like, they're wasted. He's like, they're all fucked up. They're all fucking like banging the same chick in some gangbang. He's like, dude, it's a lock. He goes, I'm with them. Like, just trust me on this, all right? And I'm like, all right. I swear to God, man, they played the best game of the fucking year that night. I fucking lost big, too. You don't know. Like, you don't know. I told the story about Esteban Loaiza. Same shit, man. He was drinking at he was like 5, 6 in the morning. It was like 6:37 even in the morning. Like sun was up type thing at an after hours party at like an underground booze place. My buddy walks up to him and he goes, hey, Esteban. He goes, aren't you pitching tomorrow? And he goes, no, man, I pitched today. So my buddy fucking bet like $2,300 on the game. He went to the game. He told us too. He's like, yeah, Loaiza was at the club. Guy was fucked up, man. Like, fucking, no way he's going to pitch well tonight. And I told you too, in between every pitch, Loaiza stepped off the mound and was sweating and shit. He's like, the announcer's like, oh, he's thinking about the pitch. It's like, no, he's not. He's trying not to vomit. So it's like he's sweating it out. Like every pitch, he's wiping his hat. He's like, he throws another pitch. Like every pitch was a production. He'd breathe. He'd throw the pitch. And Loaiza, man, he went like 7 2/3 of fucking one-hit baseball. He pitched one of the best fucking. He had one of the best starts of his fucking of the year. The only thing that saved my buddy was the fact that the fucking Blue Jays pen blew the lead late. They blew the lead late. When I used to go out in Toronto, there's a few years I went out when I was on the score, and I used to go to this bar. I used to be hooked up with these other dudes. I'd never go to clubs like that, but I used to be in the VIP room and shit, so I used to go. And I'd always see NBA teams fucking 4 in the morning and shit. And the Raptors used to always play at noon, like 12:30 afternoon start. And I caught on there. You know, you learn fast that just because a player's wasted doesn't mean they're going to lose. Like, you know, like half of them are fucking wasted. You know, you think like one team is in the room and the other team isn't. A lot of the times they party together. That's another dirty secret they don't want you to know. They just get fucked up together the night before, right? So they're both hungover. I remember I asked a dude in the NBA, I said, who's the biggest partier in the NBA? Like, who's the guy? I said, who's the guy in the NBA that can, because like James Harden can go fucking hard, man. Like our boy Jazz, I don't know if Jazz in the chat, but went to this NBA All-Star VIP party at a strip club. And come on, Durant, hit that shit. And it was like 3 a.m. and shit, man. And James Harden was like fucking chug vodka. Like it was nuts. Like James Harden partied hard. And I remember I laughed. James Harden was still there. All right, Cam Newton was there. Fuck, I was all pissed off. I wanted to get in Cam Newton's face, but I couldn't get close enough to him. We had security around him and shit. And he went into this VIP area. We were at this. We thought we were cool. Like before, you think, oh, Morency's hanging out with these guys. No. I was told, yeah, you're going to a party with Cam Newton and James Harden and all the NBA All-Stars at a strip club, which was technically true. But the thing is, they had a secondary VIP room for people like Cam Newton and not people like me. So it was funny. Though. So James Harden's fucking wasted, man. And even I tapped out. You know, I partied pretty hard. Even I was like, oh, I'm out of here, fuck. And I remember leaving. And I woke up and Jazz, same thing, Jazz in the morning. We look on TV and the NBA had like, it was NBA All-Star Weekend in Toronto. And the NBA had like this open fan practice thing. You had to pay actually, but the money went to charity. And it was like a way start a scrimmage. And it was a way for kids and people that couldn't go to the fucking real All-Star game and go check these guys out. Except it was at like 10 a.m., man. Because we were going to go. And we were going to go and hang out and shit. And I couldn't wake up. I remember like I fucking tried to get up and I fucking threw up and shit. I'm like, oh my God, fuck. Like I partied too hard. So I turn on the TV. And the first thing I see is James Harden. And it's live. And there's James Harden taking pictures with kids and fucking dunking balls and shit. And me and Jazz look at each other. We're like, man, look at this. Fuck. We're like, this guy like 4 hours ago was fucking pounding vodka back at a strip club with fucking naked chicks all over him. And there he is fucking on TV at 6 a.m. all smiles. He looked normal. Like he looked normal. Like he's all smiles. He's with the kids taking pictures and shit. I was like, man, I used to rip James Harden a lot, but that guy's hardcore. Fuck. Guy can fucking party and he honored his commitment to the kids. I got to tell you, I was blown away. It was 6 o'clock at night and I still felt like shit. Like, I don't know how the fuck James Harden did that. I wanted to tell Cam that he cost me $13,000 in the Super Bowl. So yeah, so this, you know, in today's pussified era and shit, of course, oh, Josh Gordon got high before a game is a big deal. Yeah, whatever. That's the whole thing that the media are so naive. And you have all these, like, there's a lot of people in the sports media that have never really lived anything for real. So they're just a bunch of geeks. They don't really know the real world. Like, they don't realize that, you know, like, I'll put it this way. Like, I have a buddy that was on the Calgary Stampeders in the CFL. and I was smoking a spliff in front of him at a live show I was doing at a bar. I was outside. He showed up, and I was blazing, and I knew he didn't smoke. He's kind of a straighter dude. And I said to him, I said, I know you don't smoke, man. I said, I'm curious, though. I said, how many guys on the Stampeders smoke weed? And he goes, there's about 4 or 5 of us that don't. Not 4 or 5 that do. All right. So basically, there was there's 48 guys on a CFL team. He basically stated like 40 guys smoked weed. He was like, pretty much everyone. He was like, a few of the coaches don't. He's like, few of the coaches, and he goes, I don't. He goes, there's a few linemen that don't. But essentially, everybody on the Calgary Stampeders smoked weed. Fuck. Yeah, they don't drug test in the CFL either. That's the beautiful thing. Same with the NBA. They say that about 60% of the NBA is high all day. Like, if you don't think that these NBA players are baked, like you're fucking, like you must be from Palookaville and work for SI or something like that. CBSSports.com. Oh my God, they're smoking marijuana before games? These fucking guys are blazing fucking big blunts in their fucking tinted windows, drive, boom, boom, driving to the fucking game, man. They don't get tested in the NBA for weed. You got to fail 7 fucking drug tests before you get a warning in the NBA. Why? Because the NBA knows if we fucking test for marijuana, our league turns into the Ivy League. We'll have a bunch of 5'8" white guys playing basketball. Oh, the NHL guys are all big cokeheads, fuck. Those guys, they're all doing blow in the NHL. And everyone thinks the hockey guys are all clean and shit. It's funny. It's like, yeah, they're real clean, fuck. These guys are all banging chicks, fucking doing blow. Like, the NBA guys are actually pretty clean. The NBA guys don't even drink that much. Like, you'll notice you don't see a lot of NBA controversies in bars and shit. Like, they don't go out much, NBA players. They basically stay in their hotel room and smoke weed. Look at Michael Jordan's eyes, man. Michael Jordan's bloodshot half the time. Jordan's not straight. Jordan parties hard. Jordan's just smart enough not to do it in front of anybody. No, it was the golf caddies, Josh McCarthy. The golf caddies. I didn't realize this, that golf caddies are all smoking weed on PGA courses during tournaments and shit. Like, I guess it's an epidemic. That basically, like, yeah, every fucking caddy, like in the PGA, is like they all smoke weed. It's an accepted thing. It is what it is. It's just known. Like, $67. So what was it at the half here? Seems like we're getting some points. It was 50-37 at the half. So Golden State have 19 points, and we've got 17. So 36 points, 4 minutes left. Yeah, come on, pick it up a bit here, fuck. No, some guys will go out, but they're not getting wasted when they go out. Like NBA players want to get laid more than anything. So they'll go out, but they're not getting shit-faced stupid, you know? It's sort of like George St. Pierre. George St. Pierre goes out, but he doesn't get stupid. He just goes out to get laid. We're hanging around the point spread. This is a good thing when you're getting 15 points. But no, golfers do party pretty hard. Like, look, Pat Perez fucking there's a story with Pat Perez. It's pretty funny. He was in Vegas at a golf tournament, a real PGA tournament. And same shit. He got really fucked up in Vegas, and his alarm didn't go off. Like one of those classic. Yeah, he said he was so drunk he slept through it, and he said like I don't know. I think his brother basically fucking got security and opened the door type shit, and they shook him, and it was basically like right out of a movie. Like basically, Pat Perez, PGA player, like his brother said, "You fucking loser, drunk fucking loser. Like what's wrong with you?" And he said, bro, you've got like 22 minutes and you're teeing off. Like you're up. Qualified. And everyone's going to wonder why you're drunk. Like so. And Perez said that he fucking got dressed on the way. He said that he ran out of the hotel basically in his underwear, like fucking basically putting shit on. He sped to the fucking golf course. He said he got there within like a minute before he teed off. And he was in the box, man. And I forget who he was, This is like big league shit, right? So he said he got there, and he said the look on the face of the guy that he was playing with, like, was like a life-changing thing. Like, he was ready to play, got there, and he was like, hey, how you doing? He says to Phil Mickelson, hey, how you doing, Phil? Like, And I guess Buddy fucking sort of like took a step back. He basically stated he was drunk. He goes, I was still drunk. Everyone knew it. It was fucking embarrassing. There I am at a PGA event. I'm fucking drunk. He's like, I have to think about my life choices here. He didn't change, though, because he fucking backed out of another tournament. Like, you guys remember I made a big deal about Pat Perez, about how I liked him in a tournament, and it was the same shit. He fucking entered the tournament. He pulled out after 4 holes. It was the same bullshit. It turned out he was partying. That's the thing with Pat Perez. Fuck, he's got talent, but you got to rein it in a bit, bro. Don't get wasted. I don't understand these guys. Get wasted after the fucking tournament. Fuck. You want to get shit-faced? Get shit-faced on Sunday night when you're done the tournament. Like, I don't understand that. Get wasted on Sunday and Monday, and then fucking travel the next tournament. Just make Sunday and Monday your drinking days or whatever. I'm fucking pissed off I didn't take the Detroit Red Wings. I knew the Vancouver Canucks shouldn't be minus 150. Musicians have changed, Vito. Musicians are big pussies now. I lit up a joint backstage at a Kill Switch Engage concert, and I got kicked out. Fuck. They were like, what are you doing, man? Oh, the smell. It's like, you're a heavy metal band. Fuck. I worked in the music industry. I'm telling you. I've told people this all the time. The bigger pussy the band is, the harder they party, and the harder the band is, the bigger pussies they are. You know, like that band Train. Train are really lame, right? Train are really lame band, but like those guys are like doing fucking blow and banging hot chicks backstage and shit. Corn are normal guys. I've worked a couple of Corn concerts. I met Corn like and shit. Corn once gave me like 12 cases of beer or 20 cases of beer. Corn got decadent because they made it and they got rich fast and shit, but you know, they're not like extra crazy guys. The older dudes are the fucked up dudes. The older guys are crazy. Like Lemmy of Motorhead was pretty fucking hardcore. Like he really was the legend of that shit. Now Dave Mustaine is straight edge. Dave Mustaine doesn't do drugs or drink or anything. Maybe he did when he was a kid, but Dave Mustaine's a big asshole. Yeah, that's yeah, this fucking game's really slowing down, man. It's fucking frustrating. I met Dave Mustaine too, so I know for a fact he's a dick. My life could be completely different. When I was like 16 or 17. When I was 16 or 17, I got an offer to be a roadie for Megadeth. I was on the tour bus. I was going to go. I was on the bus. I was thinking, yeah, you know what? I'll do this. And I saw what a prick Dave Mustaine was. And I started to realize, I was like, man, if I fucking do this, I'm going to end up fucking stuck somewhere after. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to end up stuck. Fucking Miami can't hit a fucking shot. Nothing like giving back our good fucking Detroit Lions fucking pick. Stupid NBA game. 75-57. I'm scared to look at the in-game total. Jesus. 186. Holy fuck, man. Fuck. Should we take the Detroit Red Wings minus a puck and a half, plus 225? Get that empty netter. Yeah, I'll put a small play on it. Small play, Detroit Red Wings minus 1.5, plus 225. I don't know, man. Maybe we could fucking hit a nice 225 play here. Oh, suspended. So watch. Is Vancouver about to score? Am I that cold? Says Vancouver Canucks in possession. This fucking stupid game's probably on TV, considering I'm in Canada. There we go. Hey, just I want to take it, 2-2. All right, good. I'm going to take the Red Wings here still. I like the Red Wings before this game, so I'm going to jump in now. The Canucks shouldn't be favored. I just mushed this game. That's the thing, Delta. A lot of these hockey totals are pretty high now, and I'm noticing they're starting to go under. It's hard to score 6 goals in an NHL game and like get 7. You need a clean ride. All right, so Red Wings are now plus 115. Yeah, I haven't been watching this game, so I don't have a feel for it. We have some Mexican basketball going on. Mexican radio. Celtic Frost, they were a good metal band. Yeah, total's 185.5 right now. They put up 45 points in the third quarter. Fucking Miami. Miami are horrible. They're just a bad shooting team. Like, I'm watching the game, and I swear the Heat have had a lot of looks. Like, they're really, I don't want to look at the box score. It's just going to piss me off. This game's just pissing me off that I bet it, that I doubled up on this shit. I should have just accepted the loss on the over and fucking hope that we can cover the number with the Heat. But instead, I'm like, no, I don't want to lose. So let me get in on the second half. Now it's 182.5. Fuck. We got a puncher's chance to cover the 15 and a half here, depending on what you got. Like, Miami haven't scored more than 21 points in a quarter. They scored 21 in the first, 16 in the second. All right, here's Golden State with a missed shot. For the love of God, Miami, fucking make a fucking shot, man. Shot missed. It's just brick city. Brick. Fuck, man. Brick. In-game total 179.5. So what, Vegas is going to be off by 50 points on this game? What are you doing, Miami? Ugh. 177.5 now. That's one of the worst three-point shots I've ever seen in my life. The fucking Draymond Green hits a 3. Fucking dickhead. Fuck, he's annoying, that guy. All right, Miami hits a 3. I was going to say, for a team that's fucking shoots a 3 as bad as you guys do, Miami, you seem to like to take a lot of them. We're down by 18, 78-60. Golden State scores. We need Miami to hit like 4 threes in a row here, which is, it's like saying, oh, we just need to win the lottery tomorrow and we'll be all right. Pick up the pace, Miami. Come on. How do you miss that, dude? Who is that? Who is that? Oh, it's old Nilnik. Fucking asshole. I don't know what it is, man. Monday nights in the NBA, you just get this, nonchalant sort of post-weekend feel. Both teams are sloppy here. I get it. Miami played yesterday, so, I knew that coming in. So that's the thing, though, with today's athletes. Oh, we played yesterday, so we're going to suck today. Don't expect us to work hard 2 days in a row. It's like average person goes to work every fucking day. I'm doing shows 7 days a fucking week. These guys, well, we played yesterday, so, don't ask too much of us. Fucking assholes. Thanks, Cody. That's just too much. Is that the real Ace Varner or a fake Ace Varner? Doesn't a real Ace Varner have his own avatar? Why must there be fake everybody all the time? Well, the Warriors have already quit. Miami should be able to cover this. Like the stars, like Durant and Curry, are in towel mode. They're laughing on the bench. I think we got a puncher's chance. It's down to 14.5 right now. Like I said, Miami, Golden State seem to be tapping out. They got their bench in. Their starters have towels over their heads. There's 8 minutes left. Are they going to bring them back in? Fuck, this is just crazy to chase this shit, though, in Miami. But hey, nobody ever said we weren't a crazy person. Like I said, I don't think Miami ever. I think Miami won't quit. They got Draymond Green. Is that Draymond out there still? Yeah. Missed the shot. I needed that. Come on, Miami. Let's go. There we go. There we go. Tell you, Miami have a little spark going on here right now. Ah, fuck. Too much of a spark. Kerr just called a timeout. They cut it to 12. Let's take it. Let's go. Is the 194 back in play? I don't think so, Michael Gray. I don't think so. I think we're a little light right now. Thing is, in this fucking NBA, there's always one team. Like, look, now Golden State. Golden State's only scored 5 points in the fourth quarter. Basically, we're betting garbage time of the NBA now. Not garbage time because Miami's getting back in this. They have Durant and Green on the floor. So, of course, I think that Steve Kerr heard me. He's like, oh, this guy's betting. Hey, he thinks I'm resting my guys. Let's put Durant back out. I'm Ace Varner. What's up, Ace Varner? HDC, yeah, let's get overtime. Sure. Sure. All right, let's do an overnight line check. We got a full slate of NBA ball tomorrow. Milwaukee Bucks +4 at Cleveland, total 220. Pelicans +1 at the Pacers, 218. New York Knicks -1, 209.5. My Toronto Raptors -11 against the Bulls, 200.5. San Antonio Spurs. So I guess tomorrow one of the marquee TV games is Spurs, I think. I imagine would be the Spurs Spurs and Clippers. Spurs minus 3.5, 201. Philadelphia 76ers plus 7 at Utah, 205. Memphis Grizzlies plus 3.5 at Portland, 204. Oklahoma City Thunder minus 10 at Sacramento, 206. I have to do some capping and research on that. Also a full slate of NHL hockey tomorrow. Arizona just played and lost tonight in overtime. They're in Pittsburgh tomorrow. That's minus 245 tomorrow. That's pretty good parlay material. Arizona are fucking terrible. They've been on the road. They're going back-to-back. Or late, you know, how about regulation? Minus 125, minus 130 in reg. Pittsburgh should win this game easily tomorrow. Edmonton and the Islanders, interesting game there. Islanders minus 120. Vegas Golden Knights in Montreal. La Belle Province. Les Bleu Blanc et Rouge. Canadians will be to play tomorrow in this game. There's no line right now because Vegas just played, but or I don't know, is there an injury? Miami Heat on a 13-2 run. Fuck. Fucking Kevin Durant just hit a 3 just like that. We cut the lead all the way down to 10, and a stupid shot pops into 13. They're at 153. We need like fucking 41 points in 5 minutes, 6 minutes. It's not impossible, but it's not going to happen. We need to, come on, go in, go in. Oh. If we just get a couple of 3s in a row, you never know, right? At least Miami haven't quit. Yeah, the Habs are starting to turn it up a little bit. Lamar and, Vegas played tonight in Toronto. They've been on the road now for 9 days. Remember, the road trip started last Monday. Oh, come on, fuck. Come on, Miami. Vancouver Canucks tomorrow are playing. They're playing right now. They're going to be playing at Calgary tomorrow. That's going to be a tough spot. It's the thing with the NBA. Like, really, every time someone goes close to the fucking basket, they call a foul. There was no foul there. It was bullshit. And college basketball starts Friday. Fired up for that. It's going to be nice to have a new sport in the rotation to upset us. The beautiful thing about college is there's so many games. It's really on you if you lose, you know? Like, honestly. Like NFL football, it's tough. There's 3 games at 4 o'clock, whatever. You pick it, you win it, you lose it. College basketball, if you got a choice of literally like 80 games, 100 games. Oh, you missed it, tragic. Fuck me, man. You got to make, come on. Fuck, guys. Of course, fuck. Of course. Now suddenly it's 17 again. It's fucking annoying. Like, Golden State, they take their guys out. We come back, and now they're back in, and suddenly, fuck, stop sticking your tongue out, Draymond Green. It's fucking annoying, man. Fuck, I'd like to punch that guy in the face. All right, we got to take a break. Fuck. What is it with basketball players sticking their fucking tongues out? You think you're Gene fucking Simmons?
More than just oil. It's liquid engineering. Snowfall warnings and blackouts. It's going to be a long day of shoveling, folks. Isn't it about time you got on the snowblower? Or your lead at 17? You got to honor the defense at some point. Three block shots tonight. That is the leading shot blocker in the NBA. Picked up 6 assists already tonight. The Lakers hit 10 for 10 from the line. Takes the biggest shot of the night with that 3. Yes. That's the only one they played all night. And it was big. How about 22 turnovers for Miami? Yeah, they won't like that. Kevin Lenny, he's pretty clever. He tried to come and scoop underneath to get contact from Draymond initially. Didn't get that. Then he tried to just stretch too far, drag his foot.
Yo, get a fucking rebound, man. Jesus, fuck me. I should have known that Golden State would have been interested on TV tonight. Fuck.
Season altercation. They say he's 7 feet tall. Is he 7 feet? NBC Sports app and NBCSportsBayArea.com. Brought to you by Northern California Honda Dealer. So Linux putting a pair. And a horn there with 22 seconds. I can say that all odd. Over 100 in every game, over 10 threes in every game, but not to 100 yet. So you have the 10 threes. Biggest lead is right now. They shot 39% in that loss to Memphis. To me, every other game has been over 50%, I believe. Shoot 36, 37% like that night and win. Not pretty, but you win. Well, that's the barometer tonight. 82 shots. Maybe 79. With the goal, be within 3 to 5 shots. They call it. After that, Detroit kind of an awful. So he answered it down nicely. Adam Johnson unable to hit. Rough night for him.
A great fucking shot, Johnson.
Empty the bench. 2:28 left. Warriors back home. Put it in the W column.
Frustrating. Good night in the NHL, good night in the NFL, and the NBA gets me. It's hard to bet 3 sports in one night and win them all, though. It's not the smartest thing to do. Not the smartest thing to do. Fucking motherfucker. Good college football this weekend, though. Looking forward to these games. Tomorrow night, we got some action. That's what'll fucking turn it around for us. Oh, yeah. Man, you know what? It was right around this time of the year that I had that 21-0 night, 17-0, 17-0, 4 in a row, whatever the hell it was. It was 21-0 one night. Maybe we can rekindle the old school magic. Bowling Green at Buffalo tomorrow. You know you're in trouble when you're betting on the Buffalo Bulls. Buffalo Bulls actually 7-2 against the spread this year. But, you know, how often are they 8-point favorites? All right, the bench is in right now. It's 2 minutes. We're down by 18. So there's a chance of covering here. It's Russian roulette. Wide open 3. Misses it, Ellington. Nobody on Miami sets up, fuck. I don't know what it bothers me. You all just fucking get the ball and shoot off of like your back foot and weird foot. There's a dunk. Now we're fucked. Fucking motherfucker, man. Fucking stupid NBA, fuck. Oh, fuck me. You fucking turn it over. You know, you fucking losers that sit at the end of the fucking bench, man. You all make like fucking $3 million a year. You can't do shit. I could go to any fucking local prison, fucking find fucking better players than you fucking jackasses, fuck. Saw some goofy fucking white guy in the park the other day hit like fucking 14 fucking free throws in a row. Fuck. You fucking jackasses. Brick, brick, brick. A great spin move, asshole. Fuck. Just shoot the ball. Hey, look at you. Hit a 3. Fuck. Nice. Way to pad your stat, you fucking prick. Just shoot. God. Fuck. Why did I fucking bet this fucking... Oh, now you hit another 3. I've got 16. You're going to lose by 17. Lord Gambler just, I got a problem with Lord Gambler recently, last 10 days or so. It was 15 and a half earlier in the day. I bought a half point. I made it 16. I just lost by 17. Fuck, I hear a baby crying in the background. I wonder if it was me that woke the baby up. My neighbors have a baby above me. Now I hear the baby crying. I don't know. The baby could be crying on its own. Who knows? It is 1 in the morning on a Monday night. I could be louder than I realize. Even flow. That's unbelievable. The second half, Danner, on that last garbage 3. And it did nothing for me either at that point. I knew they were going to hit that. I was like, yeah, you hit the 3. You won't get the ball back. I'll lose my bet by 1. Whatever, guys. It's the NBA, man. We bet a garbage Monday night NBA game with a 6 to 15 and a half point spread. And we lost by 17. But I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, the Warriors were a lock. Yeah, the Warriors were a lock. Fuck. You covered by a fucking basket. Fuck. That's what I'm looking in the NFL. Same shit. Guys that have the under, Van Fob, these fucking sports, man. It's funny. The casual fan has no idea the pain we go through with this shit. It's like when people say, oh, you don't even like sports. You just bet on it. It's like, fuck you. Fuck. I'm watching every fucking play of every game, asshole. We sports bettors, fuck. That's the thing. That's why it's frustrating as sports bettors when we don't win, because we know that we watch more sports than anyone else. See, Shrod, we all got fucked. That's why the book wins. I got screwed on my side by a point. You guys all lost the second half by a point. We just got screwed. We all just got screwed. And the book just beat us all. That's when the book is laughing right now, right? Right now, some sports book guy, they're laughing at you wager. They're like, look at these idiots. Fuck, they all, and remember Dave even said right before the game, everybody's hammering Miami. It went down to 14, fuck. So everyone hammers Miami and loses. Then everyone jumps on the fucking second half over, and Golden State -4.5 stays way under, and then a meaningless 3 fucking jabs fucking they jabs fucking Warrior backers and leaves Miami Heat backers like myself 1 point short. We all got screwed. We all lost. Like, just great. These pretzels are making me thirsty. Maybe I'll watch that episode after, but not that one. I'll watch the Twix. But they were all Twix. It was a setup. I don't know, man. I'll have my picks tomorrow on the show. Sort of looking at the Akron Zips. Akron Zips. I don't know. We're going to get desperate tomorrow. Let's go with a Buffalo Bull Toronto Raptor moneyline parlay. Buffalo Bull Toronto Raptor moneyline parlay. 196. You know what? Most sports books you can do. I do it sometimes. You can do the basketball football teaser. It's a 5-point basketball teaser and a 7-point football teaser. But if I do that with the Raptors, they're 11-point favorites. If I get the Raptors down to 6, with my luck, they'll win by 5. The Bulls are terrible, and the Raptors probably cover. The Raptors lost on Sunday night at home, and that was their first game back after that long road trip. And one thing you'll notice in sports, keep your eye on this in NBA and in the NHL, teams that are on long road trips, when they get home, they always lose that first game. It just is. I don't know. It just does. Baseball too. Sports that travel. Football's different. But it's sports that travel on prolonged road trips, they always lose that first game back, fuck. Freakishly tall. I'm not freakishly tall. If I was freakishly tall, I'd be playing in the NBA instead of talking about it. Yeah, the Suns. I know. I should have known that. I thought about that, Grinch, after I made the bet. I'm like, fuck. First game back, they're going to lose. And then teams always win that second game back. I'm not that tall, Justin P. I couldn't be a horse jockey, but I'm not that tall. Be careful with basketball teasers, though, guys. They're not the best thing to do. Even though tonight, if you had the Wizards, you could have squeezed the Heat. I keep calling the Wizards the Heat. Yeah, good. The Atlanta Hawks were hot. That was a good pick tonight. I think Big Man had it too. Good job. No, I'm not 6'6". I'm like 6'1", maybe 6'2", like 6'1.5". Maybe closer to 6'2". I don't know. I think I'm technically 6'2", but I don't really feel 6'2". I feel like a 6'1", but no, I'm not 6'6". I'm either 6'1" and I'm like 6'1 and a half, 6'2" type shit. All right, so this is just like thanks, Walter. I appreciate the kind words, man. This is just like last night's betcast where we ended on a depressing note. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the Cavs. The Cavs fucking Milwaukee were flat, Luis, against Boston in a big game. And Cleveland, you know, well, we're going to get some winners tomorrow in the football. Like I said, that Buffalo Bull Toronto Raptor moneyline parlay will hit, but it's minus 195 only. But it's going to win. I'm getting to the point now where I don't care how I win. I just want to get some plus money going here. I'm going to end the show now, but it's true. Like I was thinking about that. This year, I haven't played a lot of NFL teasers. I've been like, fuck that. I'm playing money lines and straight out bets a lot. But you can make money in the NFL with teasers. Like I'm getting pissed off. Like the last 3 weeks, I've been getting really frustrated, and almost every game I lose by a point. Like I rarely get blown out of my bets. Like tonight, I lose by a point. You know, like football, like you know, I'd always lose. Where it's getting to the point where I'm like, fuck, if I just would have teased it, I would have won. I would have won. And it's like it's a common pattern where it's pissing me off. But the thing is, you can't just tease the same game. You got to be patient and tease 2 different games, like in a good spot, you know? Like I remember on last week or 2 weeks ago with Donnie on the morning show on Sunday, I said the Detroit Lions and the San Diego LA Chargers are the kings of teasers. And they were both 3-point underdogs. It was last week, actually. And San Diego fucking lost by fucking 8 to New England as 7-point underdogs. And Detroit lost by 5 as 3-point underdogs. Neither of them covered. I lost on both games. Even though earlier in the day I said they're both the king of teasers. You could have got them both at plus 10. It would have been a winner. Don't listen to people that say, oh, teasers are for scared people and shit. Whatever fucking works and whatever puts money in your pocket. You think when these Wall Street guys leave the fucking office, someone says, oh, he made his money in corn. Fuck, I made it in fucking in beans. Ha, ha, ha. No, money's money. Fuck. I got nothing for you on the way out here. There's fucking badminton, cricket, bunch of shit-ass fucking tennis, not even good tennis, Philippine fucking women's Super League volleyball. God, anything coming up at least? Fuck. Greyhounds. We got some Filipino college basketball, the Stags and the Red Lions. That's at 2 a.m, but that's crap. We'll have to tap out. We done. So, hey, I appreciate everybody tuning in. We had a good night. It just ended badly. So you always remember the last bet of the night. It is what it is. Tomorrow's picks will be up on the Fantasy Sports Network YouTube page. I give them live around 2:50 or so on the Fantasy Sports Television Network. Big SBR touch tomorrow on the show. Dave Malinsky will be with me. Donnie Rightside will join us as well. See you later, Bobbert, Blake Kersey, Jabron, Tommy C, George, Gio, Van Fob, my main man Van Fob in Vancouver. And stay tuned. I think I'll be coming back to Vancouver. We'll do a little live show again, live on SBR this time. For those of you in the BC area, I'm sure there's quite a few of you actually too. So I'm going to start to hammer down my holiday schedule, but we usually do 2 shows a year live in Vancouver. We usually do 2 live shows a year in Vancouver. I'm going to be going there in December, so we'll do one. Last few times we charged. This time I'll make it free. I might do it at a different place this time. I've been doing it at the Red Card the last few times. See, like I said, I knew there was a lot of you in Vancouver in here. So yeah, we'll be coming to Vancouver in December. We'll do a live show like this, live on SBR. Yeah, I should have just stuck to hockey. I knew the Red Wings were the fucking play. The underdog and the Jets were the play. Fucking. Anyway, shoulda, coulda, woulda. We've done live shows in LA before, but Vegas will be before LA. I'd like to get to LA, but I need a reason, you know. You know, the reason Vancouver is my mother lives in Vancouver, so I have to do the show in Vancouver anyway, so why not meet some people, do it live. We'll have a good time. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Malinsky and Donnie Rightside on the TV. Give us a thumbs up. Support SBR. Go over to sportsbookreview.com. If you're going to bet, make sure you bet at one of their books to keep these videos and free content going for you guys. And we'll see you tomorrow night right here at 10 o'clock Eastern. Other than that, you're on your own. May the winners be yours. Later.